to the ring.
From my own experience, I saw both these players play in my tournament series, which is happening every Tuesday. So I really know their playstyle, and from what I've seen, Squirrel is the more aggressive of the two. Champ is usually the one who's moving around and hiding, under platforms. On PS2 specifically, it's just, kind of the Champman stage, right? And it's sitting there, and building up those defenses and trying to get some damage this way. And Squirrel is usually the one who uses those kind of projectiles and all that to set up for an aggressive play with those normals. So I really like to see how this goes because, for a Ditto specifically, this might actually change.
I have new information for us. We are not going to be watching SK World versus Champman. It will be ALX and Dog first.
Oh, okay. Right. Interesting. So ALX is or Alt is a Min main. Been running Min so far in bracket. And Dog, just pull it up.
So we will be seeing the Duck Hunt Ditto, just not right away.
We will be, yep. Dog is a Puff player. So Min Puff sounds really, really volatile. It's definitely the kind of situation where if Puff gets in, gets an F throw going, gets some edge guards, it's gonna be basically the stock for Min, ideally. Whereas Min is gonna focus a lot more on sort of anti-airing and generally getting a lot of combos off. Puff is gonna die very early, so it'll be interesting. I'd say if I was Dog, I would try and keep in that sort of forward air range, that blind spot where Min has to really commit. I say forward air, like forward tilt, smash, arms, range.
Mm-hmm. The arm thingies, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But even then, it's going to be hard to compete with, like, Min Nair, even. And Min has, like, decent get-off-me tools in the form of, like, jab as well, so... be interested to see how well this goes for Dog.
I would like to chime in as a lifelong Puff main. This matchup is not fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I would imagine
this matchup is.
I was gonna say
kind of mean.
Yeah, it seems like one of those situations where Puff just kind of loses neutral 90% of the time, but can get a lot of reward if she gets in. So it's going to be for Dog. It's just going to be about optimizing those edge guards and making sure and can never recover. Use that, that big active nair. Use the low angle on F throw. All of that.
Yeah, that is basically the only leeway that the Puff has in this matchup is sending the Min off stage. Everything else, in terms of advantage state on stage and neutral, is going to be hell for the Puff, because you can't really close in. Those arms are vicious, and even if you'd somehow manage to get over the Min, you can just up smash or up tilt, and then you're still in the same position that you were before. So it's going to be really hard for Dog here. You're going to really pull out those moves to get in, and send that Min off stage. But we'll see how it works out here. Dog, I've seen them play before. I think the time I've seen them play before was in doubles tournament with Kirei, so it was actually Puff and Yoshi. But Dog had actually a really good performance, so they're definitely no slouch. But of course, ALX very known for their Min. So yeah, this is actually going to be exciting. I'm really looking forward to see how Dog maneuvers around those arms.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a really interesting matchup to kind of look at. ALX, if you didn't know, is a pretty respected player, a British player, I believe. Gone Pyramithra. Interesting, okay. I don't know if they just don't fancy the matchup or if they just want to try a secondary, because they've been running Min all bracket.
Yeah, that's what I've seen as well, and that's usually what they're known for as well. But I'm down for the blades here. See how they work out. Here we go. First game of the day coming in, and Dog already going in with that pound. Of course, good shield on, good pressure on shield, and all that goodness. You get a lot of it. But just the speed and the disjoints from Mithra is more or less the same deal, for Puff as the oh my goodness. Well, okay. Never mind all that.
Yeah, it's really good to get a nice solid lead versus Puff really early if you can, because obviously that character can just kill you basically any percent. You're seeing with the big down air and a lot of just general edge guarding, so it's a really good start. You've got a nice sort of bit of insurance when you can, which you kind of need. But Dog very keen to make this back, and really strong ledge trapping and just general edge guarding there, racking up a lot of damage with Dare, frame trapping any air dodges in, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and dodging the up smash or shield there as well. Alex kind of, guessing that Dog was going to jump over, try to pressure there even more, but Dog smartly just backing off and using that air mobility to just touch the shield, but it doesn't matter when the neutral comes through. The flaming circle of death flare from ALX going to take the second stock from Dog. My goodness, these stocks are flying fast today.
Yeah, this is a much quicker match than I expected it to be, and generally they've both got their stocks from edge guarding, but Alex has just been sort of a bit more I'd say effective time-wise when it comes to their edge guarding, but going for big reads like that isn't necessarily going to be as rewarding as going for that sort of consistent ledge trapping that we're seeing from Dog right now.
You used the punish. That is basically the prime opportunity after that photon edge. There's a lot of end lag on that move. And so if you have the mobility to just, if you shield it, you basically have a free punish. But it doesn't really matter. Dog in the end gets the stock anyway with those edge guards, of course. In that regard, actually, the Blades and Mim are very similar. They're very weak off stage and very linear recoveries. You basically only have one way. With Litho, you have two, but that's about it. And now, once again, off stage, but ALX finding the way back to stage. Very important here to not get edge guarded by that Puff here from Dog.
Yeah, definitely. All you really have is timing mix-ups at that point. When it comes to both of them, and obviously Pyro doesn't have good air mobility either, so it can kind of suck when you're being either. But we are seeing some recovery mix-ups, like we saw there, just using Blazing End and then your double jump to sort of make sure that you're covered.
Yeah, but imagine missing that Blazing End, man. It's completely stuck. And with Dog coming in as well. Dog has to be really careful about those neutral beats as well. A fully charged one might just break shield, which is death, but also death is that forward. That Dog is going to take the first game with a nice edge guard, calling out that jump. And yeah, good stuff here from Dog. going into the lead here.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly a dominating performance, but it was a very, like, solid and sort of controlled one. Dog doing really well, just being really patient. I think Alex might have had trouble snapping ledge with Photon Edge. If I'm being generous, I think that, like, going for it on stage as much as they did is either, like, a bad decision or unintentional. But I think generally Dog did a really good job of being patient and just resetting the situation over and over again, racking up damage consistently by just continuing to edgeguard Aux, and I don't think Aux could deal with it that well. I don't think Aux's recoveries were necessarily good enough, or the ledge options either, and I think Dog just did a really good job at reading those, and Aux really struggled to get out of the corner for most of their entire stocks, 2 and 3.
I mean, and you know, as we said, this is basically what you have to do. The same probably count for the switch to Min, which I would expect here from ALX, unless they want to go, you know, full pressure with that, with these blades. I would expect, though, that we're gonna see the character switch here, because, you know, ALX...
Yeah, I mean, we could see... I don't know if ALX actually thinks the matchup's better, because I would say Blades' recovery is slightly better. I mean, I'd be interested to know why they'd think that. But I'm also interested to know why they'd run Min until top 16 and then switch to Pyramithra. So...
Yeah.
You know, maybe they do think the matchup's better. I genuinely don't know. I can't say too much about the intricacies of Min Puff. I can only really theorycraft.
Yeah.
Game and
right.
Watch.
So this kind of confirms to me that ALX really thinks that the Min Puff matchup is actually garbage. So ALX going for the Game Watch, which also, of course, is a very good pick against the Puff with that up B specifically.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably up there with Pika as one of Puff's worst matchups.
Yeah.
I'd say that you can't really get any edge guards going here. You can't really apply as much shield pressure as you'd like to. Generally, it's a lot harder to land aerials because Game & Watch's anti-airs are just that good. So it can be really difficult for Puff to get stuff going, but you know, there aren't very many matchups in this game that are just gonna sort of cause you to forfeit stocks, and Game & Watch is a very light character, so any rest setups are going to work super early and super well.
Yeah, we're already way past the rest percents here for ALX. Dog,
yeah, we are.
At this point, would probably not even look for it. I would assume, you know, at this point a forward smash would do it or something along those lines. You know, if you can get it reliably with a Sing maybe, then sure, but other than that, I don't think Dog will risk it.
Even with a Sing, I think Dog would probably prefer to go for an F smash here. Just don't want to get hit off the respawn platform. The cross-up dash attack into the up B there. And Alex really using up B quite a lot. Still doesn't have a percent lead, but is performing a little bit better, has a lot easier time dealing with general pressure as of right now. But he's still getting ledge trapped, still going for a lot of like rolls at ledge, which Dog is reading, although he missed the execution on that one.
Yeah, the Game Watch has been looking a little bit raw, if I might say so here from ALX. Usually, you know, you see those follow-ups there from the up B out of shield. But ALX has just been using those for a kind of a get out of jail free card and just take it and then go back to neutral. So usually those up airs are just really good at juggling Puff, because it's, you know, disjointed obviously, and it just you can just throw them out very quickly. But so far Alex has not been using them much, and there is the back air for Dog connecting, taking the lead here in terms of stocks, and you know, 85% is not too bad.
No, it really isn't, and you know, Puff isn't just gonna die at 85 necessarily, and you can definitely build a bit of a lead with that, even with the 90. We're going to see some dare combos? No, Game & Watch is too light. But I was going to say, Alex has been rolling a lot from ledge, and again, Dog just missed the execution, but immediately reading the up B as well. Alex's options are like, you can tell that they don't really know what they're doing because they're picking the same options in certain situations every time, maybe because they're not familiar enough to know any like potential mix-ups in those situations, or generally like these up Bs are out of the ordinary even for a Game & Watch player, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, Dog has really been able to just fly circles around Alex's Game & Watch here. And it really shows because Dog, you know, after getting that stock off from ALX, has only been taking about 30%, so like 2 touches here from the Game & Watch. He's still going strong, has ALX's second stock of 117 already, so 1 good read here with the back air could already mean a 2-stock lead for Dog. Instead, gonna do it with a rollout.
ALX
My goodness.
Going for that up smash for like a while, and Dog has just been preparing a punish. And generally, I think I haven't seen ALX really get any like combos going or even ledge traps. I don't think that ALX knows how to use this. Okay. Right on cue. I was gonna say I didn't think ALX knows how to use this. I don't think Alex knows how to use this character that well. I hadn't seen them get any like nair combos. I hadn't seen them like use the character's kit that well. Just mostly using sort of up Bs and not really finding openings. You know, it's like Alex knows that up B is a good escape option, but Alex hasn't considered how or what to do when they're not escaping. Yeah, they've almost, it feels like they've thought about up B, thought about the matchup, and gone, oh, okay, this matchup's good, but they don't know how to really play this character. There was no throw combos, there was no nair combos, there was no real edge guarding either, although it is Puff.
Yeah.
And I mean, there wasn't any consistent ledge trapping. There was no real openings.
Yeah, and that's what I meant by basically the Game & Watch looking really raw. You know what you generally have to do, but you don't really have it down in your muscle memory, right? You get that nair, it's all good and well, but then you usually, you see those Game & Watches get like 3 nairs, 4 nairs in a row, which is, by the way, absolutely ridiculous. But other than that, you didn't really see those follow up those strings, the bread and butter here from ALX on that Game & Watch. Sure that up B works well, specifically against Puff, of course, as well. Well, I guess it works well against everyone, but Puff is a special case here, obviously, because he's in the air a lot. But, what do you do afterwards? There wasn't really any cohesion there for ALX in that gameplay.
Yeah, so we've got Spag versus Sim Max next. Which is going to be interesting. This is a Pit versus Rob sort of matchup, which is like, it can be fun to watch, it can be engaging. You've got the Reflector, obviously, to help deal with Rob's projectiles, and you've got a lot of jumps to maybe help with edge guarding his recovery, although it is very good.
I personally find Pit very fun to watch, just because when Pit does well, it's because the player has to put in a lot of work to make Pit do well.
Yeah. I mean, Pit is notorious for being a little bit unreliable. They have been dubbed the most honest character in the game for quite a while now, and there's a reason for it. Pit doesn't really have anything flashy. There's a little bit more that came after a few buffs on some angles where Pit now actually has some confirms, which is nice. But still, we really have to put in the work, as Craig said. You really have to be super solid to make this character work, and Spag in the past has been able to do so. And specifically, what you mentioned, Jackie, with the offstage stuff here against the Rob, that's going to be really interesting, because both of these characters are really good offstage, because they can stay very long, they have good hitboxes, long-lasting hitboxes, disjoints on them as well. I will really be interested to see how that works out.
Yeah, I think it would be really interesting to see how that works out, and we could be seeing Rob Ditto in this bracket as well, because I know Snow Globes or as renamed Among Us is on the other side here, I mean, I think it's going to be a really interesting matchup, but we'll just have to see how it plays out. I think Pits are the most honest character in the game, but I think it's important to remember that in Ultimate, honesty is kind of a myth. The Pits still have jank stuff. They still have like a down throw combo that does 40 and like 3 inputs, and like fair trains off stage and fast smash attacks and whatever. So they've still got stuff. It's not necessarily as much stuff as everyone else. I think if they had a bit more M ability, the combo game could be like kind of cracked. But fortunately, they don't have that. Or unfortunately for pit mains.
It depends on your point of view, I guess.
Depends on your point of view, yeah. But it's going to be an interesting matchup. And we'll just see how Spag deals with it. You know, it's still a pretty good character pits, as most characters in Ultimate are at this point.
Yeah, and you know what, potentially also to watch out for are those orbitals, those reflectors, you know, because Robs in general really like to use that gyro for good reason. It's a very good combo tool and all that. You know, provides zoning, provides some combos if you use it correctly. So reflecting that and then collecting the gyro afterwards and using it yourself could be really good. We could also see a little bit of, you know, some double reflection because people might forget, but Rob actually has a reflector on those rotor arms, you know, so there could be some reflection shenanigans coming in. That would be really cool. I don't expect to see it.
Reflection, to be fair, because it's so active.
Yeah, exactly.
3 or 4.
Exactly. I don't expect to see it because usually Robs don't use the rotor arms for reflection purposes, rather just for ending off combos, right? But it could be happening. If it were, that would be really hype. But we're gonna see.
Bayo and Falco.
Wait, what the heck?
Preparing for the completely wrong matchup. Okay. Bayo Falco, interesting. I think they both tried to counterpick. I mean, going Bayo against Rob is generally quite smart. And Falco against Pitts is also, like, I think a decent matchup. Or maybe just Falco against Bayo because you don't want to play Rob against Bayo. Depends on, I think Spag revealed character first in this situation.
No, I think you reveal simultaneously. I don't think.
You do? Okay, no, it's Bayo Rob, okay. That's just a misinput.
Alright, good.
Okay, yeah, so the Bayo counterpick, this is a very good matchup for Bayo. Obviously, you can witch time gyro, which is kind of the, I guess, main feature that makes this particularly good, but also just the fact that Bayo's edge guarding is solid enough to kind of deal with Rob's good recovery. Rob is also heavy, so 0 to 37% combos just kind of work.
You can almost expect more, actually. You know, a Bayonetta combo on heavy characters can go up to like 50 or something. It's actually ridiculous how much damage this character deals. And I mean, you can see it already here. You know, Spag got like 2 combos and Simmax already on 80%, which, to be fair, you know, Rob is a heavy character, so unless Spag, you know, lands one of those sweet spot backers or something, it's going to be really hard for Spag to find those kills as well.
I was going to say, that's kind of what separates a good Bayo from a great Bayo in terms of advantage state, is that a great Bayo will find a way to sort of to turn what would normally be a 40% combo into a 60% combo, and you're off stage, and because you're off stage you can't punish my extended landing lag. That's the kind of big difference in terms of like advantage state. It's just the ability to like read a defensive option after your combo and keep in the air and keep going. Nice F-throw read there actually to get the kill. It's a bit late, but not too much damage on Spag right now. So
yeah, it's not too bad. Spag has been doing an amazing job, you know, just getting the damage on. You know, the kill surely could have happened a little bit earlier, but you know, we've outlined the issues that Bayonetta has, you know, with killing. It's very few options that Bayonetta actually has. High combo there is going to add even more damage, 70% almost there from that one combo. Going to add up even more with that second one afterwards. Over 100% from 2 combos is what Bayonetta is all about. Spag's doing an amazing job, but the confirm of the gyro into the forward smash is going to get the stock for Simmax here.
Simmax has just been really struggling to deal with ABK as an option. I'm not sure what exactly it is, but just getting hit by a lot of side B generally, whether or not it's aerial or heel slide doesn't really matter as much. But Simmax has just been struggling to deal with Bayo combo starters. We're starting to see them adapt a bit more though.
Yeah, that was a really good roll through that heel slide there, getting enough end lag, of course, to punish that as well. I think, if I'm not mistaken, oh boy, that forward smash is catching Simmax off the ledge. Yeah, but I mean,
that's an X-Curve forward smash right there.
Yeah, it is for sure.
You saw Spag going for it earlier. When ledge trapping, it's okay because although the hitbox is small for what the animation looks like, it is pretty big generally. So you can cover a lot of different options with it. So when you need a kill and you're playing Bayo, so you often do, having an option that can just kind of cheese out stocks when you're ledge trapping is pretty good.
Right, Simax basically has to find the kill now if they want to keep alive in this game, because Spag is really working on that 2-stock at the moment. I mean, one good strong hit from Simax is gonna close the stock up from the Bayonetta very quickly, because Bayonetta is a very light character. Back throw potentially? Nah, not quite yet. So Simax still working on that, but look at that, 122% on Simax already. Has potential to live very long, as we've seen in the first stock at 200%, and that's a nice confirm once again. The gyro confirms are certainly on deck here for Simax right now.
Definitely. He's just doing a really good job of pulling this back almost. I mean, it's going to be hard for Spag to find the kill. Okay, I thought that was commentator's curse, but maybe not. Misspacing the down smash there, but it's gonna be hard for Spag to find a kill, and Rob can take stocks at basically any percent. And okay, now it's commentator's curse.
Yeah, it's delayed.
Oh, yeah. Second time lucky, I guess. But yeah, as I was saying, normally it's gonna be pretty difficult to be able to find a kill, and Rob can cheese out stocks really early, which is what makes this matchup kind of volatile, because especially with Rage, you can just get like a nair at 30 and all of that work Bayo's done is just completely irrelevant.
Yeah, but if I'm not mistaken, these Rob combos, the 0 to death, are not like 100% true. So if Spag were to mash air dodge, they could potentially bats within out of it, or even witch time, depending on what you want to go for, how tight you believe that combo to be. So even that might be off the cards for Simax here. So, you know, I really like what Spag is bringing to the table with that Bayonetta. I wasn't aware that they had one, but it's looking really clean, actually.
Yeah, it's an interesting counter pick. I didn't realize that the matchup was good enough to warrant a counter pick, or maybe Spag was just confident enough in their Bayo to be like, I can do this in this matchup, even if it's not that bad for my character. The fact that the matchup itself is quite good for Bayo means that, and the fact that my Bayo is quite good means that it's worth going.
Yeah, and it certainly was. I mean, Spag with a very good showing there. It's gonna take the first game here, and we are in a best of 3. So if Simax has any counter picks on deck, now would be the time, potentially, to bring it out, or if they trust in their Rob, they can certainly still go for that, but we'll see how it works out. We're still gonna check out stages, I believe, here very quickly, and then we should be right into the second game. But yeah, I mean, what do you expect Simax to do here? Is it a matter of stage? Is it a matter of just adaptation? What is Simax looking for here?
I think if Simax can get a flat stage, that would be kind of ideal. But I would say that, Simax has also been adapting quite well.
Okay.
Okay. Spag going Sheik. I think Spag's just like, I have a lead to play with here, and this matchup is also good against Rob, so I might as well try out my secondaries or whatever. That's interesting, okay. Or maybe they were trying to read a counter pick in advance. I genuinely don't know. I thought Simax might have a character counter pick, but I think it's just a specialist. Town is interesting. Maybe it's a Town counter pick, but Bayo's quite good on Town. I know Sheik has some very long, like, corner carrying combos. I know Town's quite good for loops and that kind of thing. And we can see that right now. This is really well played. Oh my god.
Alright. Spag just going off with that combo that you mentioned, just carrying Simax off the side. And of course the very close side blast one's really helping out there as well. Usually the power from the Sheik's not very high, but if you can just carry your opponent off the side, it doesn't really matter at all. You know, the stock from Simax taken there was very early, you know, considering the weight and all that as well. So really, Spag is showing off some character knowledge at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of advantage of Sheik, is that even though the combos don't do a lot of damage, they corner carry. So especially on a big stage like Town, you can just do like 7 forward airs and like 3 up tilts in the middle of them. And it just kind of works, and it's a 0 to 40, but it also carries your opponent off stage and lets you set up for kills, for edge guards, that kind of thing. So there are advantages to having to use really long combos because you're just basically getting free stage control every time you go neutral.
Yeah, and you might be right. This might just be a town and city pick here for Spag with that cheek because of those things that you just outlined, you know. So, and Simax is looking a little bit lost, you know. Having a cheek at 168 really speaks to how Simax isn't really finding those, you know, closures for the stock here, as Spag almost finds it, and actually Simax dying off the bottom. Not quite sure what happened there, but Spag makes it back.
I mean, it was a really smart needles there, but just couldn't get the down B angle right. Would have killed, but got the reward for it anyway, albeit with a bit of sacrifice. But I mean, I was gonna say Simax has been doing really well so far, full stock lead, but nope. So this is gonna be a bit frustrating to have to SD as a character who's kind of constantly losing every trade anyway. It feels very tense every time there's an even game because you're so much, in this case, you're so much heavier than your opponent, lighter than your opponent. I was talking about loops. That's usually what Sheik players mean, is those drag down loops into sort of up tilt, and then you can get some fairs and stuff out of it.
Yeah, that was some amazing stuff from Spag. And oh, there it is, the bouncing fish confirm of the week Nair, and that's gonna be the set, ladies and gentlemen. 2-0 for Spag, showing off those characters that they have in the back pocket. No pit needed here for that win.
Yeah, that was really interesting. Yeah, so I guess Town was a counter pick. I have said that Bayo's quite good on Town, but Bayo's only really good on Town and the plats are out. Whereas Sheik is just good on Town generally. Sheik actually likes the fact that Town is flat, because it allows you to do those up tilt, drag down up air loops, and those up tilt fair combos. And it just allows you to extend everything for a bit longer. I don't think Simax was prepared for that at all. I was going to talk about how frustrating it is to SD as a character where you're like in a matchup where you're constantly so much lighter than your opponent and you're also losing every trade. To be even stocks can be like really frustrating, especially if you're especially if it's because you SD'd. But Spag did a really good job of just keeping their cool and not letting that get to them and just playing the same game they'd be playing the entire time. I don't even think Simax really took a stock in like a conventional way. I think it was like a trade into an SD and just a random SD. So really couldn't get anything going there. Really got kind of dominated and yeah, I think Spag did really well. Some
just
smart
really,
counter I know they had.
Yeah, just really playing the matchup basically. You know, even though you maybe SD there, you know, you can still just play it out because it has worked before. And you know, Spag, you know, in chat saying also that we're a bit nervous, but it's all good in the end there. So very nicely done. And now we have Enter versus Among Us, aka Snow Globes here. So that's gonna be Banjo versus Rob, most likely. Although we've been saying that, you know, with the other sets we had, and none of that had been working out in the way we thought they would.
It's amazing. Our round one was not the match we thought it was going to be, and then I think every single character sort of like hypothesis we've had has been wrong all night.
Yeah.
Well, we've had at least one wrong each game. We were right about Dog Puff and Simax Rob, but
True.
Alex and Spag both went for some counter picks, and Snow Globes does have some counter picks in his locker. He does have, I think he has a Wii Fit trainer. I think he has a couple of other characters as well.
Me Gunner is what I'm aware of.
Yes, the Snow Globes Me Gunner, the famous like 5 timeouts in a single CB. Snow Globes Me Gunner.
Would you like to know their characters?
What
go ahead, man.
Because you haven't said any of them yet.
Oh, well,
we got
Snow
Mithra
Globes...
Pyra for Entei, and Snow Globes is going Rob.
Yeah, Snow Globes is a Rob main, but has some counter picks available to them. Could... I don't know.
Oh, man, Rob Blade sounds awful for Rob, though. Like, with Mithra just running around, slapping the Rob around, you know, and then the strong finish with a Pyra. Oh my goodness.
All I'm saying is he's friends with. Okay, no, he's going for Rob Pyramithra. But I was gonna say he's friends with Fanta, and Fanta insists we fit Pyramithra as even, and he has a joke we fit, I think. But he's a Rob main first and foremost. I wasn't really gonna expect that in bracket. So yeah, I mean this could be terrible. There's a lot of good edge guarding to be had, maybe. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out. I mean, certainly the Rob is better off stage, but on stage we see it right here with the Mythra just getting that advantage state started basically at the ledge traps as well. Rob doesn't really do anything against that. Short switch from Enter to the Pyra there, but immediately realizing that Mythra is just working way better. You can see just the damage piling on. Even though the single hits, they don't really do much. Just the strings after some time, it's just adding so much here to Snow Globe's stock, and now Snow Globes
really
is in Pyra kill range.
Actually, because it's been mostly sort of like Pyra when ledge trapping Mythra in neutral, which is really smart because a lot of Mythra's combos will corner carry. Mythra is basically Swordy Sheik, and we've seen how bad that matchup can be for Rob because of the corner carrying allowing you to get ledge traps early, because of just Rob being heavy, so long combos existing. It can be really difficult for Rob, and it's really smart to try that.
Yeah, the only saving grace for Rob in that situation is that the Mythra can't go out that far. You know, the Photon Edge only carries you so far, and if you burn your jump to extend your combo, you're not really gonna make it back. So this is the only thing more or less preventing Enter from carrying. I'm just gonna call them Among Us here. Carrying Among Us to the very side of the blast zone, and there is the back air.
Amogus, who has taken the first stop.
Amogus? Yeah.
Snow Globes has definitely picked that tag because he wants us to say Sus Amogus as much as humanly possible. That is a very Snow Globes thing to do. Just looking to find a kill. Been in Pyra for a while now. Trying to find it, but unable to get it as of right now.
Yeah, at this point the tilts will do, as the up tilt is coming through there for Enter, and that's going to be it indeed, taking the stock right there. So very even game here, even though it was certainly Enter with the more hits landed. It's kind of the heavy thing. You only need those few hits and they're going to deal your damage. They're going to provide the knockback that you need. And so Snow Globe struggling a little bit, especially against the Mythra here. Oh, there's the spike from the Pyra, reading the high recovery from Amogus. Very nicely done.
Yeah, just Amogus has been picking that recovery route for a while and been really nice gyro setup. Amogus has been picking that recovery route for a while, and I was wondering when he'd get sort of punished for it. We saw that there, and yeah, it's a very even game so far. But of course, Swordy Sheik doing Swordy Sheik things, and Snow Globes is at 55, just gonna look to get something started here.
Yeah, there's the blazing in, setting up for a potential footstool. Gets it, but of course Enter going straight to ledge there, or rather Snow Globe's going straight to ledge and not going to get everything off it. Now Enter's still looking for those juggles, but safe landing there from Amogus is going to make sure that there's more opportunity here to get some damage on the Pyra, because one more Pyra swing might just be the game here for Enter if Snow Globes is not careful. It gets something going there with the quick.
Did you see the grab whiff?
Yeah.
Oh
stuff.
No! Yeah. The question with when something like that happens is, will you or won't you let the salt get to you? And I think Enter has done an okay job so far, just sort of moving on. But you never know. If you can't clutch out a game because of that, it can be genuinely really frustrating for the rest of the set. Snow Globe's not falling for that. Fell for it the first time, but not doing it again.
And this is slowly but surely getting down to the wire here. That's a whiff up B. That's potential confirmed to up air, but misses very slightly. Enter gets the airbrush, but it doesn't matter. Oh, still alive. Okay, living the back edge just barely there. the added weight from the pyro, but oh my goodness, the missed input from Ente is gonna seal the deal. First game goes to Snow Globes.
That's gonna feel, after that grab and that miss input,
yeah,
that's not gonna feel great.
No.
The question now is, do you keep your cool or do you capitulate? Do you know, when something like that happens to you, the question is sort of, how do you react? That's what really defines the set, is sort of, or at least from this point onward, because Ent was like holding that game pretty well until, I'd say, those two things, until the whiffed grab is what sort of sparked that mini comeback on the last stock for Snow Globes, and I'd say obviously the misinput kind of sealed it. So when you feel like something's slipping away from you because of stuff that just feels like is either out of your control or just feels kind of random or kind of BS, it's very hard to like
keep it up, right?
Yeah.
It really just nags at you. You know you had that. You know you had the right idea, but you didn't quite execute it, and then you get punished for like 50%. That feels so bad every single time. And to just keep your mental up after that is really important in these kind of situations. You know, to just keep it going and to just follow your game plan to clutch it out in the end as well. Unfortunately for Ente there, couldn't quite do it. Of course, very unfortunate missed input off stage. It's gonna make sure of that. But other than that, I think Ente was actually doing a really good job with those blades.
Yeah, I would say that whiffed grab is kind of what sparked the Snow Globes comeback, and sort of even the percents before the misinput blazing in. So I would say that Snow Globes is in a position where he feels like he's sort of gotten the hang of the matchup a bit and of his opponent a bit. He's definitely started to adapt later on in the set and when given the opportunity, things back. But Ent's gonna feel like they didn't really deserve to lose that, and they can still kind of push on and really like just take the set pretty or I wouldn't say comfortably, but I think they feel like they're in a good position to take the rest of the set, and it's just a question of whether or not they can keep their cool after being hit by that. I'm interested to see what stage we get though.
Yeah, stage and maybe even the switch to the Bandria from Ente. I'm not quite sure if Ente has definitively switched to the blades, or if it's just a try here, from Ente to make it work against the Rob. But I know Ente as a banjo player, so that might be what we are gonna see here. But
am jumping in with an update. So, the next match will be on Pokemon Stadium 2. Entei is going to be sticking with the blades. However, we are currently trying to figure out what we are going to do about the network issues in the last match. So, it may be a moment before our next match. So, I don't know. Grab a snack.
Yeah, everybody just
we may
stay hydrated. Get a snack, just relax, and just chill with us a bit. I see quite a few peeps in chat as well. So if you want to jump in and, just also for you non-German speaking peeps in chat and maybe on stream even, Ente is German for duck, for everybody who didn't know.
Oh, that's good to know.
Oh,
so
okay.
But yeah, I saw some questions in the chat as to what the numbers are. We are running Sable while we are running stream, so if there is an interruption, for example, when you see the game stutter, when you see one of those numbers go up, that basically tells us who is at fault for the stutter, who is at fault for the connection interruption, and it was flagging Entei pretty hard. So Entei is going to try to restart their router or something, and we're going to see if that fixes it.
All right, let's hope that we're not going to have any DQs here, because that would be really sad.
This late into Rocket, for sure.
Yeah, I'd rather see the players just play it out, because, as we've talked about, Ente has been doing a really good job so far. And I want to see more of those blades because it's a very new character and there's still a lot of stuff to discover.
Yeah, but what we want to see and what's fair for the players, two different things sometimes.
No, that is for sure. That is for sure. Like if there's actually connection issues, then we have no choice, of course, but to go with the DQ or something along those lines. But preferably, we of course want to see the players play. But we're gonna see how it works out. If the router restart here is gonna fix it. For enter.
I have given my update, and I will return to the ether. I leave the stream in your hands.
All right, we're gonna see you later.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go over some PG stats, I guess. I know Rob is a very good stage for PS2. I'm just about to pull up some. Rob is God damn it! I know PS2 is a very good stage for Rob. Snow Globes actually has a 67% win rate on PS2 with Rob, which is
hey Jackie.
Jackie, you're having some interference there. I'm not quite sure what's happening, but it sounds like you're slapping your microphone.
My mic was like unplugged a bit.
TO style stream at this point? Yeah, why not? Give me a moment. I can do that.
But, it's sad that GP can't do that now that Smash World Tour is out. Is my mic better now?
Yeah, it sounded like you were rustling it around.
Yeah, I was talking about the inline earlier. It's just came loose, but so Snow Globes has a 67% win rate on PS2. Pretty good. I think that's the second best he's got. I think his best is Smashville, although he has a lot less games there. And I'll just pull up. And for a second. Ent has not played that much Aegis. I will...
Comparatively, I think Banjo should still be their most played character, because they've played it before the Blades even came out, for obvious reasons.
I
think you might actually have... I don't think this Ent is a Banjo player. I think you mixed them up with a different Ent.
I might have.
Yeah, so this is actually a Min main with a Steve secondary and Blades, and I think they just picked up Blades recently.
Oh, I'm completely wrong on that. Okay, yeah, well, I take everything back.
I was on PG Stats, and I was looking at just the player database. Pretty good win rate. Win rate with Blades is 61%. They do have a Banjo, but Min is their most played character. I'm just checking profile pics, and there's a different Ent with a profile pic of Banjo, so I assume that's who you're thinking of.
Might be. Okay, I wasn't aware that we had two ducks running about, but sure. Then of course I take everything back that I said about Enter's Banjo. It seems like there was a little bit of a mix-up going on. But maybe while we wait here, we can have a quick look at the loser side of things as well, because there's been some progression there as well. Let's have a quick look here. Out of bracket 1, we had Oni Shin and Astral GDA KA.
Judaka.
Coming out. Inkling versus Samus at the moment. There's Astral Judaka with a 1-0 at the moment.
Yeah.
Then we had DTY against Despair. That's 2-0 to DTY. It's gonna now play Sim Max that we saw earlier. And we have Kuhn versus TBN. Currently 0-0, and Gary versus Celise, where Celise took a 2-0 with that. Richter is now facing off against Champman, so that's going to be a very interesting match as well there. Duck Hunt versus Richter. I know that Celise has some counter picks as well, as far as I'm aware, but we'll see how that works out for the players. And of course, Cinemax versus DTI also could be really interesting, but that's going to work out off stream, and if I see that correctly, we unfortunately seem to have entered DQ'd there. Maybe we can get a little update there. But that's what I'm seeing in Smash GG at least.
They've DQ'd from this game. I don't know if that means they're DQ'd from the entire bracket or if they will be playing Astral. I assume they... I don't know. I actually have no idea if they're going to get a second chance or not. Although I guess if it's a connection thing, then it would make sense that you don't. So Astral has been going Inkling. Astral is normally a hero player. So that's new. It's interesting. I know Astral has had an Inkling for a while though as well. So maybe just trying them both out, seeing which one's better in which situation. Maybe just kind of in a bit of a character crisis.
Sure. I mean, that happens, and it's been working out so far, so certainly no harm, no foul there for Astral. But it seems like we're going to move on to winners semis here. It's going to be Squirrel, who's taken it over Champman 2-0 to play against Dog here, our Jigglypuff player that we've seen earlier against ALX. That's going to be interesting. It's going to be Duck Hunt versus a Jigglypuff. Most likely, anyway, although I've not seen any of these players switch it around. But, you know, at this point, we have to expect basically anything. So,
well, these are the few players who stick this entire time throughout bracket. I can see if they've got any secondaries. Go to...
I see in chat that Spag is already kind of figuring out what kind of matchups Snow Globes likes and whatnot. There's got to be some information for later for our second winners semis. Gonna see how that works out here. Spag is collecting some information already, some spy stuff there. Although it's pretty obvious, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean.
Snow Globes is giving him the information, so... here we go. Alright, we're sticking with the mains here. Dog on the Jigglypuff, of course, cool with the Duck Hunt.
Yeah, it's not really close in terms of amount played, like Duck Hunt to anybody else. I haven't checked the path, but there's probably no cow picks coming out. If there is, it might be like an MSF. And I think they've played Banjo at some point, but I wouldn't expect either of those, really.
I don't think as well. I mean, both these players have been doing extremely well with their characters, so... I don't know if the matchup specifically calls for it, but I would imagine that, once again, Jigglypuff is the character that can struggle a little bit more, especially on stage. With that, I think the Clay Pigeon here is almost the most annoying thing, because it just is so disjointed. It sets you up for so many confirms, as you see right there, Clay Pigeon into back air from Squirrel. It's just so good.
It's a combo starter, and it's also, pretty good at just blocking out Puff short hop aerials, which sucks because those are her best grounded options. Because in this game, rising short hop aerials and grounded options are basically the same thing. So, Puff's gonna have to play even more in the air than usual, which can kind of suck, and that's some really smart ledge trapping there, using Can to force Dog to jump and then punishing with the gunman.
Yeah, it's just limiting so many options here for Dog. Dog has to really find some very creative ways to get through it. Not quite sure if I agree with the rollout there. It is creative, but I don't think it necessarily works, as we've seen, rolling straight into that can.
It's just, say what you want about Duck Hunt, but there's a lot of creativity in these setups right now. It's really interesting to just watch how the tilts interact with it, and like that there. Using Gunman to force Dog between the platforms and the floor, and then using Can to punch that space. That's really clever. And it's a really smart way of also using the platforms kind of as walls at the same time.
Yeah. And that is only the projectile stuff, right? And if you put the Duck Hunt itself into the mix with those aerials right there, as we've seen Squirrel repeatedly do, it's gonna make it even more difficult for Dog to just navigate around this right here. You see that Dog? They got some good damage on Squirrel here, but at this point they are not really finding any opening here, and they need that one opening to just get the kill. But yeah, look at that. Even though they have Squirrel in the corner, it's really not gonna amount to too much. And now that Squirrel had the time,
it's got a bit unlucky with that RNG on the down air knockback. And reset to center stage. Maybe it was worth doing a nair there. I don't know about that decision. That was a smart trade though. Dog was at lower percent, I think, and just died a lot later because of it.
Yeah,
Squirrel doing a really good job of keeping Can like at 2-frame distance at ledge and just making it impossible to snap to, so that Puff has to expend all of her jumps.
Yeah, Puff specifically, of course, has a lot of trouble with that. Can more or less just only use her jumps for that. The Sing is an option, but doesn't really snap very good as well. So if you just keep the Can around, it's really difficult for dogs to find a safe way back to let you. So if you recover high, Skull is gonna be there with the coverage for sure. And that just makes it so difficult. Even if you approach from the very top here, as you see Dog trying to do, just jump into the air and find a way somehow. Squirrel is there with those up airs, which is just really good to catch anyone jumping, trying to jump over you, and that's just really... Dog's struggling right now, and for good reason. Squirrel is just a very cerebral player, setting up those traps as well, and fortunately for Squirrel there, the can was out a little bit too long, which didn't allow him to combo it into it, but this is still looking very good. One more strong hit here is going to be the game. Squirrel is looking amazing right now. There's the up air. That's going to be it.
Since, I think, like, after that... I'd say after that sort of first stock, or after Dog lost his second stock, second stock, I would say that they never really got into it. They didn't even really find an opening after that point. I think they just sort of couldn't get in, couldn't deal with it. I think part of that is floatiness. It's very hard to approach characters when you're floaty, especially if those characters have very good aerial coverage in their zoning, like Duck Hunt.
Yeah.
I don't know how good this matchup is. I know Duck Hunt's recovery isn't great. It's basically just Can and maybe Gunman to protect me, and then my actual recovery is kind of like terrible.
Yeah, it is.
Like in terms, it's all right in terms of distance, but in terms of like protection, there's none, and it's also very slow.
Yeah, even in terms of distance, it is not very good. It gets you like if you're halfway down the blast zone for most stages, it's already almost game over because you don't really have the time to get out a can or a gunman in most of the time. So it's difficult. This is where Dog would get the mileage, but they haven't really found a way to just get Squirrel off stage. I don't think we've seen Squirrel off stage once, maybe once or twice, but that's about it. They found a very quick way back as well. And as you said, the Dog not having more or less any ground movement because Jigglypuff is very slow on the ground means that you have to approach from the air, and against a Duck Hunt, that is very difficult.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm not sure if I really see Squirrel losing this from this point onward. I think that was kind of commanding, and I also didn't really see signs of any real adaptation from Dog. So it'll be interesting. Hopefully I'm surprised, because I always want tight sets, but this could really be an even better performance from Squirrel potentially, because started off with a small lead and just kind of expanded on it. They seem to be doing like generally better, and I think that they'll probably keep going. I think that you could see a pretty strong performance in this last game here, but I mean, who knows? We're picking stages now, and we'll see what happens.
We'll see. Maybe this could be the time for a little bit of a counter pick if Dog has one, which I'm not sure about. I'm pretty sure they don't. I'm wrong. There is the counter pick indeed. The Young Link is coming out for the counter pick here.
I'm not sure if I agree. I'm just gonna go on a whim right now and say I'm not sure if I agree with this too much, because I know that Duck Hunt is a bit of a counter zoner. So stuff like arrows, for example, is a lot less useful when Duck Hunt has a lot of projectiles with health that can just kind of eat them up, and just generally better priority. So I don't know if Dog is just sort of throwing out characters that they've been learning and hoping that the matchup is better, because I'm not sure, unless there's something really obscure I don't know. I don't think this matchup is really that much better. Or I don't think this matchup is particularly good for Youngling.
Yeah, it suffers from the same problems that many zoners or projector characters have against Duck Hunt, is where, as you said, the gunman and the can just eat up your projectiles, and usually you look for those to just confirm in anything. And you can see that Skull seems to be very comfortable as well. They can, find those kind of brawly mix-ups as well, just going in with the Duck Hunt itself as well. Although, with that said, Dog is still finding good ways to deal some damage here and keep the game even. You know, one more smash deck from both of these characters is going to take the first stock here.
Young Link might be a zoner, but Young Link is also a swordy. And what we've seen from Dog is a very aggressive Young Link, a Young Link that's not afraid to approach and is mostly just using those projectiles to find openings and to sort of disrupt Squirrel's rhythm as Squirrel tries to sort of get some setups going, because a lot of Squirrel's setups were very elaborate. You needed that time that a floaty kind of gives you in order to sort of pull them off, and they're not really those same setups aren't really working. Squirrel has other setups that are that you can kind of see, but they aren't as elaborate or as complicated or arguably as effective. But they're still around.
Yeah,
it's just a bit harder.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, they're still working, and you can see that Squirrel is relying a little bit more on the normals here as well. On those aerials, gets the grab, but there, back throw off stage. Got it. Ooh, I love the angle on that can. That was very smart.
And then to do the can in the opposite direction so that you can bounce it towards the ledge and get the 2-frame. That is the one flaw I'd say, is that Young Link's recovery is a bit less predictable. So a lot of that stuff that we saw from Squirrel in the first game, where he did a phenomenal job of just keeping can sort of 2-frame range at ledge, that's gonna work even better now.
Yeah, and that was really cool from Squirrel. That's the kind of cerebral stuff you expect from Duck Hunts, you know, with the setups and the angles and all that, launching the can in different ways. With the gunman there as well, almost successful in launching the can in Dog's face there as well. This is actually
just
looking
covering
really cool.
a run off of the platform. It's just a really smart option, because you think that you're gonna get zoned out by gunman, and then you get zoned out by gunman, but in a completely different way. Which I find kind of interesting. But yeah.
There's the grab there, Dog finding something. Oh, dash tech actually almost killed. I wasn't quite aware that that's a good kill move at some point for the Young Link. But there it is, the jump catch from Squirrel with that up air. It's catching Dog, chilling on the platform, and of course at 150%, that's certainly going to take the stock. But now Squirrel has to land, and against those very disjointed up airs, that's looking a little bit difficult.
Yeah, Squirrel manages to find it by getting a sliding tech off the platform.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh no.
Have we been kicked from the replay, or is the game over?
The game is not over. We've simply been kicked from the replay. This happens sometimes. Neither player is at fault. This is just the game that we choose to play.
This is just, we just got Nintendo'd right about now.
Okay, so about that sliding tech off the platform...
Go ahead, man.
This is just what happened.
That is a very underrated technique in ult. When you have enough momentum, and if you tech in the right position, you can tech and then slide during your tech off of the platform. You can act basically immediately. It's a very underrated piece of tech. I don't know if it was done on purpose. Probably not. But I think it's a pretty good defensive option, and a smart pick if it was done on purpose.
Yeah,
okay, place your bets. Who's gonna win?
I would say, from what we've seen, I think Squirrel still got it, but Dog is looking way better. But I think it is a close game, but Squirrel will take it. That's my bet.
I think the matchups are so different that Squirrel had sort of first stock spent a lot of time adapting to being to having to approach the game in a different way. But I think that after that point, Squirrel just started picking Dog apart a bit, and I think that Squirrel was sort of starting to get a big lead. Yeah, you see it there.
It is.
Starting to get a big lead, and you could kind of tell that it was going to go that way.
Right.
So, who have we got?
Well, that's a 2-0, and that means that we're going to be moving on to Spag versus Among Us.
Alrighty.
Okay, so this is Sheik / Bayo /
Pit.
Yeah, Pit is their main. Versus a Rob. So we know that Spag has counterpicks for Rob, and I'm going to be interested to see how those work. Snow Globes knows Spag has counterpicks for Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Because Snow Globes has been looking at the bracket, potentially looking at the stream. Hi if you're there. So
they're certainly there. I mean, they've discussed it openly in chat as well. So Snowglobe's definitely aware.
So Snowglobes is aware of those counterpicks. So the question is, does Snowglobes go Rob, or does Snowglobes pick a completely different character in an attempt to sort of go for a double counterpick?
Could be. It's a little bit of mind games now here for the first blind pick of characters. We know that Snowglobes has some counterpicks on deck, most notably, as far as I'm aware, the Me Gunner, which I don't know if it's necessarily way better than the Rob against the likes of Bayonetta and or Sheik, which might be the counterpicks or mix-ups, I would say, mix-ups here from Spag. So this is going to be interesting. As we were on the topic of placing bets, what would you say we're going to see for our first matchup?
I think we might actually just see like something ridiculous. I think we might see like, I don't know. We might see like Sheik Wii Fit or something stupid. I don't know. I don't think that either of those that's a ridiculous guess. I'm just like.
All right, so I'm gonna step in. Is that your final answer?
Can I also have
Probably not. I'll say Sheik Rob. Rob. I don't think Snowglobes is gonna go for the double counterpick.
I say Bayonetta Me Gunner.
I would like to say you're all wrong.
Ah, damn it.
Nope. Spag has decided to go, get this, Dark Pit.
What?
Oh, okay, alright. Interesting. Going for... Okay, wait.
That's the mix-up.
Has Spag been watching Snowglobes, been watching the stream, and gone, I'm just gonna go pits? Is that the level of...
That's the level of mind games we're in, folks. That's it.
That's if that's true, that's hilarious, and it's also genius.
I love these kind of mind games, and I've said it earlier. Spag has actually has been talking to Snowglobes in Twitch chat about this. So after all the talk about counter picks and secondaries and all that, we actually get to see the mains of these two players right here. So Dark Pit versus the Rob. Let's see how it works out. We're starting on FD for our first game. And immediately we see nothing. Not really anything happening here, as both players just kind of feel out what they're trying to do here. Some gyros here, some arrows there, but at this point it's a very slow start for both these characters. Gonna try to figure out what's going on, but Smack starting off with some nice combos there, but of course immediately rectified by Among Us, just getting that one nair to hit. And in general, I would say that Spag has similar opportunities to what they've been bringing out for the Bayonetta and all that, as they have some really good carrying combos, especially against a heavy and large character like the Rob here. And you can see that the pressure is still kind of mounting.
Yeah, it's interesting that they just sort of went for Pit and Rob straight up. I wasn't really expecting that. But as I said...
You're good?
Oh, am I good?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay. My Discord has just said not responding, but apparently it's fine.
Okay, yeah, no, I can still hear you, but you might not be able to see gameplay if it's not responding right now. So it's
yeah.
Yeah, well, that's very unfortunate if you want to try.
What a stable app. Oh.
It happens. But so far, both these players have been putting in the work, but none have been able to take a stock right now. Spag, it's at very high percent, as is Among Us, but it is going to be Snowglobes with the first stock. Spag finding right back with that back air off the Angel platform, quite literally at this point.
Yeah, while Jackie is dealing with that, I will go ahead and step in.
Hell yeah. Welcome to the mic once again. Yeah, no worries, man. No worries. It happens. All right, here we go. So once again, we can just see that both players just looking for one combo start, and neutral air for Spag here. Same for Snow Globes actually. Just trying to catch the one jumping. This is basically the game right here. There's the up air. Now setting up for some juggles.
With all the gyros, I'm actually a little bit surprised that Spag is not just sort of like going in the side B and maybe trying to get like a reflection power through it and catch Rob at the tail end of it.
And or down B, right? Because you still have those orbitals as well, which you can reflect with. So there's multiple options for Spag to potentially use against the gyro. Instead, it's gonna get the spike, but the spike actually is not good. So it's not gonna kill. Very sad. But there's the back air. It's gonna catch Among Us jumping. And that's gonna be Spag getting the lead at the moment. And as I say that, there's a nice little roll read from Among Us getting that up smash. And once again, keeping this game very close.
Responded to the air dodge and didn't quite manage to land on the ground though. Hey, nice little 1-2 combo. Pushing Among Us to the other side of the stage.
Still working on it here. Oh, there's some lasers coming through, and we said it earlier. I'm still kind of surprised we've not seen any down B, side B action here from Spag. Still is very content at just sitting at the ledge there and finding off some arrows to kind of contest the gyro and the laser from Snow Globes here. There's the side B, but it's kind of more of a read thing. Didn't really work out as well.
You really need to do that either on reaction or just a heart rate, I suppose.
Yeah.
Nice coverage of the ledge, though.
Yeah, that's what we kind of. I'm not sure if we talked about it earlier with. I think it was. Spag versus Simax. Same matchup basically, where the Dark Pit and the Rob are really both very good at just staying out there and kind of. Oh, that's a confirm, ladies and gentlemen. The grounded spike off the down air into the up smash. Spag is going to take the first game.
Very solid.
Lovely, lovely. You gotta love those confirms, off the grounded spikes. Always a pleasure to see. It's very. It's not, let's say technically difficult, but it's very flashy. I like those kind of confirms.
Actually, I would say that one's fairly difficult. Have you tried to land the actual spike for Pit's down air?
True, that is very true.
It's a very small window and a very small hitbox.
And it's also pretty weak, which makes it even worse. Like, Pit's down air, in terms of you trying to spike someone, has to be like the worst down air in the game for that very purpose. Like, it's actually ridiculous how weak that spike is. Sometimes you have to get like 3 spikes in a row to make it work. Which you can, but it's very difficult.
Alright, welcome back, Shaki. Alright.
Not quite yet. Alright, gonna give Shaki some more time to set everything up.
Shaki's just having a think, I guess. So,
yeah, sorry, my computer is just taking a minute before I can actually...
Well, welcome back.
Hi.
Hey.
Hopefully I'm good this time.
Alright.
Sounds good to me so far. Let's hope that it keeps up.
While you were gone, Spag took that as Dark Pit. It was a very close game, though.
Okay, something in for me. Interesting. Maybe we'll see some outfits. I don't know.
We'll see. It's certainly possible. We've talked about earlier how Snow Globes has some counterpicks on deck. Instead, it's just gonna switch around the color palette a little bit and go with the pink Rob here. Let's see if it makes a difference, because Spag is also staying with the main here with the Dark Pit. So we're gonna see this could potentially be the final game, as we're still dealing with the best of 3 here. So let's see how it works. We find ourselves on Town and City, and what do you think of this stage for these particular characters?
I think Town and City is alright for Pit, because I think Pit can do like some interesting stuff with Fair. But I mean, as you can see, it is going alright for Pit. But I think it's also good for Rob. I think that Rob has some good long combos on Town, some combos on the Plats, can generally just camp. So I wouldn't necessarily say this is a bad stage for either of them, It's an interesting air dodge there, but
also some close calls off stage here at the moment. Forward air connects for Spag, but timely platform for Snow Globes, carrying him back to the stage right there. But yeah, this is what we talked about earlier when we initially talked about this matchup, is that both characters are just really good off stage, and we've seen it right there. They basically spent half the game time up until now off stage trying to get the kill on each other, and with the very close side blast zones there, I think it's really good for both characters. You know, back air from Dark Pit or Rob's gonna kill really early. Robo arms potentially as well with that side B. But yeah, kill off the top certainly possible as well.
Some smart coverage with Gyro there. I'm not sure why Orbitars didn't work there. Maybe it was a damage thing. I do think that there's like a bit underneath them that doesn't like work, so maybe that's why it worked. There's like a bit underneath them that's a reflector, but it's not like an invincible hitbox, so you can like just hit them.
Yeah, it seems like Gyro Orbitars is a little bit weird.
Yeah, that usually happens when you throw an IMO, like some kind of reflector, I guess.
Well, that's the work this time around, where we saw the Gyro actually reflected by the Orbiter. So I don't know, there's some properties that I'm not quite aware of, but so far Spag has been holding on, and as I say that, the neutral air finally is coming through here for Among Us. Going to take that first stock, but not without taking some massive damage. You can see that the backer almost killed at below 100%. This is just the
and Rob's not a light character either.
Yeah.
Part of that's just the blast zones. Part of that's just back air being really strong. It's a really nice confirm to go for there. But unable to get too much off of the following edge guard.
Alright, here we go once again, trying to force some off-stage shenanigans there with the neutral air, but Among Us is going to very quickly snap to the ledge. Now we have some options. Gyro being a little bit weird there, but there is the back air Spag just connecting that while landing.
Just using a lot of jump mix-ups, doing like rising aerials out of the sort of double jumps that Pit has, and generally just being like very ambiguous so that you can get the back air there as some smart shield pressure there.
Yeah, and that is obviously what you get from like multiple jumps. You know, when you think they don't have any more jumps, there's always one more jump. That's just how it works with multiple jump characters. And the same kind of goes for the Rob as well, with that up B kind of fuel thing. You know, the Robo Booster. I don't know what they're called. Yeah. I'm just gonna go with Robo Booster. Actually, I think it sounds really cool. But yeah, I mean, it kind of offers you the same thing, but it's way slower. You know, you have to spend some time. There's some cooldown on it. So sure, you can like act out of it, but it's gonna be a little bit slower as the usual jump mix-up. So Among Us has not been really able to do as much, but the bury into the Ultimax gonna seal out that stock. But kind of a same situation as the first stock lost here, 63% in the deficit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been a pretty close affair so far.
It's very casually floating back to stage.
Yeah.
It's actually not as hard a punch as I would have imagined there from Snow Globes. Usually, when you give Rob a free entry for something like that, they like carry you over the whole stage and kill you with a side B of the side there. So. Good for Spag, a little bit bad for Snow Globes there, who could really, I think, taken more advantage of it, although I'm not 100% on the confirm, so there might have been something that I'm not aware of. Alright, here we see a very high recovery. Snow Globes
that's another advantage of Rob on Town, is that you can abuse the high blast zone and just sort of make it really difficult to catch landings, and also just stall in the air a lot, frustrate your opponent. This has been a very long game, and I'm not sure if Spag really wants it to be that way, but I know that Snow Globes is fine with that. So it's just a matter of frustrating your opponent, making sure that you can find openings, but Spag has been very patient, and Snow Globes can't get in, and needs to get in for the kill, and that's it.
Ooh. Okay, forward throw killing there for Spag. Gonna seal out the set. 2-0 for Spag. Nicely done there. I was getting a little bit worried towards the end because, of course, the Dark Pit is very light, and one back air could have potentially taken it for Snow Globes as well. Max rage on that robot as well, but Spag's gonna close out in the end with a nice little grab. Usually at those percents, at least one throw will kill, unless your throws actually are not good. But
they were really smart with that, actually. Yeah, they were just really smart with sort of, how do I put it? Spag could have gone in and tried to kill with. I've said before, Pit has decent frame data on his smash attacks, or try to do drag down confirms, or fair trains, or fish for a back air. But he realized that Snow Globes has been stalling because Snow Globes wants you to do that. He wants you to get frustrated and run in and do something kind of reckless. But Spag was smart enough to just be like, no, I'm not going to let that affect me. I'm not going to let that happen. And I'm just going to sit from center stage on the biggest stage in the game, or the biggest legal stage that we have, and just kind of throw arrows, and you're going to have to sit there and deal with that and be frustrated until you hold shield, and then I can get my throw confirmed. There was a very clear game plan, a very patient one.
And at this point, Snow Globes was the one who eventually had to approach at some point, because if the timer went down, it certainly would have been in Spag's favor. But that's all about in the past, because we're now getting to our winners' finals here. Spag just, of course, advancing against Snow Globes, and Squirrel from earlier against Dog is now the both of these players that we're going to see here. Starting us off on PS2 as well. They're sticking with their mains for now, so let's see how it works out here. Already you see that Squirrel is getting those, stage hazards on deck, basically, to block some of those arrows and make it even more difficult for Spag to approach.
As we said, Squirrel has a very good win rate on PS2. It's a very long stage, but it's also a stage with platforms on it, which can allow Duck Hunt to get some specific setups going, and frame traps around getting off the platforms, because they are quite sticky in this game. But Squirrel, again, just performing quite well. There's a bit of a test of mental endurance now for Spag, because Spag has just played a pretty long set against Snow Globes and has now had to go straight in with no break, whereas Squirrel has had a break and played a bit of a quicker set as well. So there's going to be a real test of sort of mental endurance.
That's going to be a confirmed close range Clay Pigeon. Yeah. It's a little bit risky from Squirrel there, because the Clay Pigeon has quite some end lag if you throw it out, but if you confirm it into the actual hit, there's some good opportunity to follow up with that back air. Squirrel does so, taking the first stock. And Spag, as you said, maybe a little bit shook there from the last game already. It's taken some time to really find those entrances, and Squirrel's just going.
Yeah, Squirrel's doing a really good job of spacing his short hops over, or spacing their short hops over sort of Dark Pit arrows. Maybe Normal Pit might actually be the play here, just because you can adjust those arrows to meet that. But it means that Squirrel is still able to set up, because they're just jumping over the arrows that at the beginning of the game we saw being used to kind of stop Squirrel from being able to set up. And we also saw Squirrel using those to approach in terms of that side B back air confirm. Yeah, so it's just it's just a bit difficult for Spag to really use those as part of their game plan, as they were kind of expecting them to. Spag is default going for arrows versus gunmen, but he doesn't really have the frame advantage in that situation. And Squirrel is doing a really good job of exploiting that. That was a full confirm.
That was really cool. Using the hit lag on the shot from the gunman into the grab. The eye in from Spag as well is going to be meaning that the up air is confirming from that as well. Really cool from Squirrel there, once again just using the mix-up there against Spag. And now can just trade away with those cans as well, because every trade, well, that's not necessarily a trade, but the trade before is going to work out in Squirrel's favor. But the side B coming through, taking that stock very early.
Yeah, and there we saw it working. The sort of like arrow onto the can to throw Squirrel off their rhythm and make them run into their own can effectively. And it's an alright way of dealing with that ledge trap. But Squirrel, as I've said, has been finding some decent counterplay to it. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. I mean, Squirrel with a very commanding percent lead, but this is ultimate. So percents aren't as relevant as you'd expect.
Damn. All right.
Okay. I mean, percents were pretty relevant there.
That looked really scary for a quick second. I thought that potentially they might die at the same time or something, but a very calculated trade from Squirrel there, getting the can there and launching very high up. It's going to mean that, of course, Spag's going to die earlier because I think they were like 130 or something, so... good idea from Squirrel, just going
130, lowest ceiling in the game. You're really high up as well. Like that's a guaranteed kill, pretty much. I don't know if Squirrel actually knew they weren't gonna die there. Maybe they did. Maybe they were just like, well, even if I was gonna die, I'm probably not gonna die first because I have a much lower percent generally, and the weights are pretty similar, I think. So it was a smart option to pick, and generally Squirrel looked pretty in control. Maybe towards the end, Spag got something going and it looked quite tight, but
yeah. I know. Usually the Duck Hunt players are very aware of when trades are happening and how they're working out, because it has been a very core principle, you know. Getting some confirms off the can, also just getting out of combos by mashing that B button, because that is a frame one option
and that's
to interrupt combos.
49% and still going.
Yeah, Spag has been getting some nice combos, and apparently Squirrel was not quite able to mash.
You don't really want to be ledge trapped by Duck Hunt, so you kind of want to avoid overcommitting when you can.
Yeah, that is for sure. Alright. Oh, there's a nice little snipe with the arrow, potentially setting up for an edge guard right here, but Squirrel coming in with the aggressive up air, getting a spike as well. It's not going to kill, but it's going to add some more damage on Spag's stock. Very needed here for Squirrel as well, as they've been kind of getting bopped. And there is a drag down confirm into the up smash. Spag showing off some stuff right now. My goodness.
I was talking about those drag down confirms earlier. You know, pits do still have some stuff. There aren't really honest characters in Ultimate in the traditional sense. Everybody's got a little bit of sauce they can bring to the table, and we're seeing that there.
Yeah, now Squirrel, usually the Duck Hunters are really looking for those trades. Now Squirrel is the one certainly not wanting those trades, because the damage is just piling up, trying to go for the spike. There is Spag's gonna get the side hit instead.
A much more commanding lead from Spag.
Yeah, Squirrel ready with the tech that's gonna stay alive, but as you said, Spag just holding a very good lead. There's another trade onto the platform, but nobody capitalizing off it. My goodness. The second time we saw that today.
I don't think either of them expected to land there. Yeah. But I think it was very smart can placement from Squirrel. Just didn't expect to be hit by it. Another down tilt upper. Very safe move, pit down tilt. And as you can see, kill confirms. Really strong start to this game from Spag. Definitely looking like, I wouldn't maybe say 3-stock, but probably a 2-stock. Which is not something that I expected going in. Using Orbitars really well in this game instead of just Pit Arrow to deal with Can. And you combine that with the Wave Bounce and you've got a bunch of really interesting movement mix-ups and options.
Ooh, that was very close to the down air connecting there from Spag. Once again, Spag has been going for quite a few of these. I know they have the lead, right, so they can kind of afford it. Even if you don't get the spike hitbox, you can still kind of set up into something, but Squirrel there gets the stock off finally with a good little back air. But
with the back air and missed it and just decided to frame trap with the air dodge.
Yeah. And now, of course, it's still very much so in Spag's favor. I don't see Squirrel necessarily winning this unless they really just kind of try to camp out Spag. But we saw that earlier against Snow Globes, and Spag usually finds a way around.
Yeah, definitely. I think that you have a lot of another good can placement. Squirrel's can placement generally has been better, but Squirrel can't really afford to go for those trades. When the lead is in that position, even though I guess you could say Squirrel won that interaction, the fact that he's a full stock down at this point means that they didn't really.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, getting some good ledge trapping going, potentially a comeback here. Potentially. The way things are looking, Spag could definitely be down on their last stock, but commentator's curse. And as we said in the first game, Spag has been using a lot of really good shield pressure with jumps, and I think that definitely applies to platforms, because every time you think that the pressure's going to end, every time it would end on a normal character, Pit can just jump, and all of a sudden you're back in the same situation. But it is winners finals, so it is best of 5. So it's a very long set, and we'll see how SK will adapt and how Spag adapts.
Yeah, I think, as you said, with the can trades there, towards the end, of course, Skrill, even though they might get something off it, like every percent you get is just one step closer to the grave there for that particular game. So both these players there sticking with their characters. I think the only one we can reasonably expect to switch around there is Spag, who has been really sticking with the Duck Hunt. So, but none of that. We're sticking with the characters, and we're going to Battlefield, which is an interesting pick, I would say. I'm not quite sure if Dark Pit gets any extensions of those platforms, but for Skrill, I think it is certainly. Oh, no tech! Ah.
Going for the, yeah, it's
sad.
It's a smart up air there to be like, okay, well I can't. To like notice that you can get the stage spike, even though you're like below your opponent. Normally, your kind of opportunity would be gone there. And a really good capitalization on what was a bit of a big error from SK Wirral for kind of staying at ledge too long. That's the thing, is because Duck Hunt's recovery isn't very long. Duck Hunt's ledge invincibility time is going to be a lot shorter because you're going to spend a lot more time in the air because your recovery is slow.
Yeah. I love the pressure from Spag right now. You saw them, getting 2 up airs in a row, and then very smartly just waiting out the air dodge. Skrill trying to dodge the 3rd up air, getting neutral there as well into another grab. So Spag just putting on the pressure at the moment at Skrill here, and not really giving Skrill any time to really, set something up. As long as Spag is in Skrill's face, there's nothing they can do, and there is a down smash as well. 2-stock lead here once again for Spag.
Definitely, I think that it's that Spag has kind of gotten better as time has gone on and adapted to the matchup and adapted to the way to play it. Squirrel keeps going for side B back air, but I don't know if it's just good DI because it's not really working.
I think that depends on how far you are away from the side B, and of course at some percent it becomes more inconsistent because you get launched further. There is another edge guard from Spag right now, has all the opportunity, tries to go for the spike, but Skrill with the clutch air is going to make it back, but how much is it going to mean in the end here? Skrill gets the grab, but the down throw at those percents will not confirm anymore, even on bad DI, I think. And so Skrill's really struggling, finding the killer. Usually Duck Hunt is kind of struggling with that anyway, but this is just getting extubated even further here.
And Spag now, I was going to say Spag now at max rage, but the Nair takes it. But Spag now with a huge lead, and those can trains aren't going to work. Can trades aren't going to work. And generally Spag's juggling has been really strong.
Oh, alright, Spag. Just showing off with the parry into forward smash on the last hit of the rapid jab right there. Good stuff from Spag, getting that game down with a 2-stock once again here, going up 2-1 in this best of 5. I really love what I'm seeing from Spag right now. There's some confidence in that play.
Definitely, yeah, and just sort of working their way through the Duck Hunt zoning really well, and capitalizing really well as well. Realizing that against Duck Hunt, or realizing very early on, sort of like edge guarding is going to be a really strong tool, and also realizing how good juggling is versus a character with like generally bad mobility. Once you get a lead, the tools that Duck Hunt has to mitigate those things in terms of can are like so much worse. But again, we're going to PS2, a very neutral stage, but a really good stage for Duck Hunt, and particularly for Squirrel. So we will see how this goes.
Exactly. You said it in the past. Usually, PS2 has really been working out great for Squirrel and for Duck Hunts in general. Chapman, the other Duck Hunt who was in this bracket as well. Both of these players really like to go to this stage because it provides more cover, as you said, with those kind of sticky platforms. You can just hide under them and set up. Stage also kind of large. There's lots of opportunity to get some space, to get the time. But for now, it is still Spag with the pressure, but Squirrel now has the time needed to set something up, but the Orbiters are going to make sure that Spag is safe and finds their way back to center.
There's back air there as well to do what he can. Doing a really good job at just dealing with Duck Hunt zoning tools now. It took about a game to really adapt to it, but once Spag did, they haven't looked back, and that's it. That's it for that stock, and now it's just a question of, the dynamic changes a lot when your opponent's looking for a kill, and Squirrel has a lot of damage to rack up before they can even really start looking at one. So it's a big opportunity now for Spag to just kind of get as much damage as possible. Seeing another confirm there. This lead is gonna get pretty commanding soon if Squirrel's not careful.
Usually the Duck Hunt is one of those characters you really want to play from an advantageous position, if possible, because you're really bad at approaching most of the time. You can, of course, do some mix-ups and all that, but so can Spag with that confirm into the back air, getting rid of that aggression from Squirrel and taking the stock.
I think the DIing out away from the combo, but I do think that okay, hitbox extension. It's smart to recognize that it makes it easier to whiff punish. But that's a beautiful combo. But I was gonna say that I don't think that Squirrel's DI on that back air was great. I think maybe trying to DI out the combo. I do know it kills early, but Squirrel didn't really seem to be DIing up and into the corner.
So, yeah, no, that was certainly something not quite right on that. Yeah, I agree on that one. But you're trying to be out of the combo, and the back is just so very quick. You can't really react, especially online. It makes it even more difficult here. Oh, there's a reflection of the side.
Yeah, I was gonna say a really smart reflection there. It's extra shield pressure, maybe a bit of safety as well, and generally just not having to deal with Can.
I was a little bit worried that was going to lead to a shield break potentially because of the high shield damage from the side B anyway, and then the reflected Can exploding as well. Oh my goodness, what a disgusting angle on that one.
Thrust up a down smash, dude. You can't do that. Those moves have hits behind them. Yeah, it's a bit of a small error from Squirrel, but generally Squirrel was a full stock down at that point.
Yeah.
And hasn't really made too many comebacks so far. Definitely a player that benefits from sort of being calm and holding a lead when they have to approach and find kills, and are generally in a position where you feel like the chips are against them. Things kind of start to turn. I haven't seen too many Squirrel comebacks in their run so far, so it's going to be difficult. I think Spag has kind of done a really good job of figuring Squirrel out, and
for sure.
What was I going to say? It's going to be difficult. It's that's the set. But it was a really good adaptation from Spag after game one.
Yeah, Spag's just gonna run with it after that first game, just took all 3 games afterwards, closing it out with a 3-1 and moving on to Grand Finals winner side. Really nicely done, just really having Squirrel's number, it seems like. And but that's gonna mean that we're all done with winner's side for now, and we're gonna move on down to losers here. Losers quad is gonna be Dog versus Astral Jidaka. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Yeah, we're gonna get. I think we guaranteed a British person in losers semis. So if you care about that, then there you go. Astral is a hero/Inkling player, been going Inkling most of bracket, but after being knocked into losers and having to face a Bowser player, going hero. So got both in the pocket. Dog obviously is the Puff Young Link player, I guess probably just Puff.
Probably just Puff, yeah.
Yeah. I think the Young Link player was the sort of one-time Hail Mary count pick. And it almost worked, to be fair. It was like slightly better, but Squirrel figured it out in the end.
Yeah.
But Astral is gonna do pretty well. I think he's definitely got a good performance in his locker here. I think that both Inkling and Hero would probably do all right against Puff. Maybe Hero might not do as well, just because of Puff's edge guarding, and also because Hero's aerials are very slow generally, so you can't like air to air, and his anti-airs on the ground are also kind of bad because up tilt's really slow and up smash is narrow. But I guess you got side B.
I would say in general that Hero has a good time against Puff, who's just really struggling not only with the sword, but which, as you said, can be worked around with because it's rather slow, but also because of the many projectiles that the character has. Not only do you have neutral B, which especially fully charged is like really strong, but you also have that very quick side B, and you also have Kaboom and Boom and all that other stuff that you have in your down B menu, you know.
And they all have massive hitboxes. Kaboom covers a ton of space. So do neutral B, so does side B. So yeah, I mean, it probably is quite good for Hero, to be honest.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say it certainly is in Hero's favor, but once again, it's really a theme here for Puff. You know, the offstage presence is what Dog has to be looking for here, just to carry the hero to the side.
But immediately, as we're seeing, using a lot of like uncharged side B and like medium charged side B, which is great because they are Hero's main zoning tools anyway. But this is where the risk comes from. Again, unlucky with the down arrow RNG.
Yeah, tries to go for another down in there, just this time around not gonna land it, gonna use it for more pressure, and just, alright, here we go. Hero off stage, but there's a quick backer there. Well, it's not really quick, but it's gonna work this time around.
Frame 17.
For Astral Darker to get Dog off.
But it is massive, and it hits like a truck, and sometimes that's just enough.
And here is the Psych Up, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be very dangerous for Dog, because that shield damage is not only massive, but also the moves are very strong if you release shield. And Dog is indeed gonna just release shield there, and the up tilt gonna connect, gonna take the stock.
It's smart just realizing, hey, this move has a massive hitbox. It's gonna cover jump, which is almost definitely the option that Puff is gonna pick, and it's also gonna cover any other like drop shield. So to just, you know, call it out as a smart shield pressure tool. Just some generally good movement from Astral. Oh, okay.
Well, okay, Dog a little bit early on that one, but yeah, this could work. No, my god. Dog too early on that punish, but luckily gets the shield on time to not get forward smashed. Oh my god.
It's you just gotta wait a little bit. Just wait a little bit before you go for your F smash. That thwack definitely would have had a much higher chance of killing there, but
actually, you know, I really like the idea of the sing on the Keklang, because it lasts for so long. You don't really have to worry about getting the right timing. But Dog was just a little bit too early. I think it was just a few frames off there. So Jidaka getting a little bit lucky. And there is another up Psych Up. This is very dangerous. One more up tilt potentially here to take it. Oh, look at that shield.
That shield is so low, and the Kaboom, as we said, covers so much space, and it has a windbox pulling you in. Astral's general movement has been pretty decent, using like the triplats to kind of keep himself in the air, keep himself like grounded, so he doesn't have to air Puff unless he needs to, and when he does, he can just use those massive aerials.
Here we go. Oh, Zoom is gonna get rid of that situation there, you know. Astral just very quickly getting out of that offstage situation. This is where Puff shines, and Zoom is really a thorn in Dog's side here.
Yeah.
But there it is. Not gonna quite kill that. That's another Zoom.
Trying to read it with an up air, but unfortunately, it's impossible to read because nobody knows when it's gonna happen.
Not even the hero player.
Not even the hero player. You can't read a decision if the hero player isn't making one.
Exactly.
Not back air on the roll there. Oh, getting some good punishes off that generally.
I mean, with all of that.
And the Psych Up, Crackle Slash. Okay, just the Nair. Could have been something a lot worse, but misspaced the jump the first time.
Yeah, and you know, with all of that said, you know how Astral has been doing a really good job. This game still kind of even. You know, Puff at high percents right now. 82% is for sure kill percent, especially with the Psyker. And Oof right now, the deadly combo could be a shield break.
You really don't want to shield anything Hero is going to throw out right now. Nope. You really, really don't. So, and Dog is just being really patient.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, that's...
Oh, well, actually didn't kill. Yeah, I'm surprised, but there's the kaboom that's going to explode the balloon off the top.
I think that might be F-tilt problem, because it's a multi-hit. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Psycup might just go on the first hit.
Oh, it might be. Yeah, Psycup goes away after one hit. That might be the case. I'm not 100% on that, but it could actually be the case, because Psycup usually lasts for one hit, and if you have multiple hits on the forward tilt, that could be the case.
I'm pretty sure it goes away after one hit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well. Okay, so nice start here from both these players. Actually, I really like what both these players have been doing so far. If Dog gets more opportunities off stage and keeps a little bit of a tighter pressure up there, where Astral can't really get the zoom in time, then I can see this turn around, but so far Astral has been really good at just keeping the Puff out and bringing it home, you know?
Yeah, the advantage of Hero versus Floaties is that Hero can just kind of run to the other side of the stage and get buffs in the time it takes for Puff to get there. Maybe threaten with a roller, I genuinely don't know too much. But I would say that, like, Astral's doing a really good job of using side B and neutral B to cover space and to just make it harder for Dog to approach generally, and because of that, okay, interesting. But because of that, Dog is struggling to get in and struggling to harass Hero, and get Hero to not be able to have buffs, and definitely off stage. I would say you wanna.
Alright, okay, so we're gonna have the fight gonna take place on the spectator stands today, ladies and gentlemen. It's like when a brawl.
They're just talking to each other, you know. They're just chilling, a little bit pre-match banter, and the Youngling comes out again. Bounce will obviously be the go-to spell in this matchup, but generally it's going to be a lot harder for Hero to get spells. That's the advantage of playing a character with projectiles against Hero, is that because you can harass Hero a little bit, it's going to be harder for Hero to get spells, but Hero could just enter advantage state and then get them that way, as we just saw.
Yeah, not only that, but also the Accelerator that Astral now has on deck certainly helps with getting around those projectiles. So there are some opportunities for Astral to turn this matchup around, but I'd say without any buffs and or something along the likes here, it is certainly in Youngling's favor, because even though you might be able to run away and get some of your menus started, Youngling is going to outrange that most of the time unless you get Kaboom or something. And the normals are just not quick enough for Astral to really fight with Dog up close as well.
Yeah, Youngling has the projectiles to deal with, to like harass. Okay. The projectiles aren't going to help you now. So now the main thing, what Astral should actually be doing here is running the hell away. When you have bounce against the Zona, your goal should be like, okay, they can't harass me with projectiles anymore. I need to go and get more buffs in the time it's going to take for them to try and approach me. Now, Youngling does have very good normals, which is one of the reasons why this matchup might not be great for Hero, because Youngling has the projectiles to harass Hero into not getting spells, but also has the normals once he gets in to really...
just gonna barely live there, Dog. Of course, very light, the Youngling there.
And another bounce.
Psych up, there it is. Forward there, and no opportunity for Dog to get rid of that as well, just because the bounce is out. So now we get to see a little bit of no projectile Youngling here. Almost sounds like a little bit of a challenge, right?
Sounds like a Lil Z video. It probably is. He's probably done that.
At some point, I'm pretty sure that
alright.
he has, yeah.
It's going for the read, but not getting it. Costly in terms of mana. Yeah, just patient.
Yep, that's nice patience there shown from Astro. And this is what you need in this matchup as well, right? So many projectiles flying at you, and as long as you don't have bounce or accelerator, it really just holding out and try to use your MP as good as possible, as well as reserved as possible as well. Because if you run out, you have to get in and get those sword hits, and that is really where the difficulty begins for the hero, as we see right here. Only 25 MP on Astro right now. Gets him some spells.
Go for the bounce there. Went for Psych Up instead. I think just because Astral's looking for the kill. So it's probably just more useful. But I would say that bounce, just in the way that it changes the dynamic of the game and forces Young Link to approach you, especially when Young Link is effectively losing, seems more interesting. There you saw Astral like shielding 3 or 4 projectiles in a row. One thing that I don't see a lot of hero mains do is passive shield. In that situation, like versus arrows, if you just crouch, you'll be fine. And it's way less committal to do that. But Astral finding the kill with a side B and now getting bounce, and now no projectile hit confirms for Young Link. So it's going to be a bit harder to find it.
Although I would say it's taken Astral quite some time to get the stock of Dog, actually. So even though we've kind of talked about how Astral's doing a really good job, Dog is still certainly in it, because they have Astral on the second stock, a very high percent as well. So one confirm could potentially do it, but misses the grab right there, meaning that Astral just gets stage control, which is really good for the hero here, because he can just get out those spells, get those normals out. Now it's very far out, can actually go for the fully charged up B there, so it's gonna survive this, but now very low on MP. This is Dog's time to get the stock off. Can he do it?
Yeah, and he can't really get any spells, just kind of trying to run away and basically heal. Gain going for Sizzle, just because Astral wants to get the kill, but Bounce arguably also a pretty strong option there, but it's just like you want to get the kill now, so as good as Bounce is, Sizzle might be better.
Oh my goodness, that down smash didn't even take it across the whole stage, but
just fishing for the right spell at that point.
Couldn't quite find the zoom there, so it's gonna just fall to that. There's
just B reverse neutral B.
Point blank kaboom in Dog's face.
I've actually been doing a lot of like fully charged neutral B generally, and hadn't really done many like B reverses or wave bouncers, which you have the opportunity to with hero side B and neutral B, so it's very unexpected. For like Spag is thinking, oh, Astral's back is turned, I'm fine. Because Astral hasn't really picked that option for the entire game. But it actually went pretty well. Sorry, not Spag, Dog. But that's that set gone.
Indeed, that is the losers round 3 officially over, as well as on the other side of things, ALX has taken it 2-0 over Celise, a little bit of an IB team kill there as well.
Yeah.
And now we have Among Us versus ALX, and after that it's going to be Dog versus oh no, never mind, that's over. So it's going to be Among Us versus ALX, and then the winner of that's going to face off against Astral in losers semis.
Yeah, we have a guaranteed British person in losers finals, which is going to be the second time Brits have made top 3 in a row, I believe. So there's that. It's a bit of a GT team kill as well, I think. Both Alex and Celise and Snow Globes versus Alex. So
it could be.
They have, yeah. I mean they've played each other quite a lot. I assume Snow Globes knows that Rob is probably has played the matchup enough with Rob to like go for it, and Alex has definitely played that matchup with Min Min. So I'll be interested to see how this plays out. Alex is a British player who's currently in Greece, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's actually the other way around.
Oh!
Could be.
Really? Okay. Well, I'm completely wrong then. Alright.
Yeah, Alex says in chat as well, Greek in the UK.
Greek in the UK, okay. My bad. I'm sorry.
All right, so I guess we're gonna see either Min Min or wait, what did you see? Pirate Myth and or Game Watch is what we've seen earlier against Dog in winner side, but since then, Alex has stuck to the Min Min and has been winning their sets so far with it. So I would expect the same thing here against Snow Globes as well, but we're gonna see how it works out. I mean, if they were comfortable picking something against Dog, they might be able to do that against Snow Globes here as well, but I would expect the Min Min here just because of the range that the Min Min offers.
Yeah, I definitely think that Alex is... I think these two have definitely played this matchup, and I think that Alex is probably comfortable enough with how Min Min does to stick with it, and I think Snow Globes is comfortable enough with how he knows the matchup to stick with that. So I don't think that there's going to be any like funky counter picks this time, unfortunately. It's just going to be what you kind of expect.
Ooh, all right, so this is the smallest stage here in the pool, which means that the arms just kind of cover so much for ALX here.
So there's two main benefits and drawbacks here. The first benefit is that it's going to be way easier for Snow Globes to get in on this stage. Oh, okay. No. That's unfortunate. It's going to be way easier for Snow Globes to get in, and Snow Globes also has some dumb confirms and that kind of thing. So in that sense, it's like kind of smart. But Min Min's also really good on SV because her entire threat bubble is SV.
Yes.
If Min Min stands on center stage, anywhere on the stage is threat bubble. Literally anywhere. So.
Yeah, and now Alex is gonna precisely do that, and stick on the platform, stay at a very safe distance, and just get those arms out there to try to get the stock of Snow Globes. Does so successfully there,
really
and keeps the game alive.
Just because, like, how do you whiff punish someone who can hit you from anywhere? It can be really difficult, and it feels like it wouldn't be a good Min Min stage, but it's actually so small that it kind of wraps back around and becomes a really good Min Min stage.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting.
But... I mean, the only saving grace here for Snow Globes, well, not the only one, but certainly a saving grace is going to be those projectiles, which can be reflected with an up smash, but usually can also lead to a punish from Snow Globes if he reads those reflections. So far, ALX has not really been needing those. Is gonna keep up with Snow Globes here, but this is still an even game, courtesy of that SD at the very start, of course, as he lands on the ground with that up smash. Gonna take the second stock from ALX as well, and this is looking very even. Oh, offstage shenanigans, usually not in Min Min's favor, but gets out of it and gets back to center.
Globes isn't going to like the fact that he didn't make the most of that, I feel like that's, like, when you have Min Min off stage, especially when you're playing a character with that good of a recovery, you kind of need to abuse it as soon as you possibly can.
Yeah.
But Alex is doing well. I'd expect the stock to be taken. Again, Ulsi going off stage against Rob. Is that? No, it's not. Not it. Got some nice down tilt setups.
Ooh, shield looking mighty small after that megawatt there. Of course, does a lot of shield damage. But no shield break just yet, ALX. Oh, the confirmed the drag down up air into the up tilt, but no up air to follow up from Among Us, and that's going to be the stock for ALX. So still possible, but certainly looking roughy for ALX in the first game.
Big old megawatt there, but just
there it is.
Smart, reading the roll. Standing just in front of roll distance so that Alex thinks that he can roll behind, and then immediately going back across and going for the up smash.
All right, nice stuff from Snow Globes here, and this name is going to confuse me the whole day through. My goodness, but Snow Globes, they're very smart, just taking advantage of that SD and carrying it all the way. Even though it was unfortunate, just using that to your advantage is also a skill that is certainly something to be perfected. And Snow Globes doing it really well here and taking the first game. But if ALX cleans that up and gets a little bit safer off stage and doesn't SD, then I can certainly see that going in ALX's favor.
Yeah, I think Alex is still very much in this. I think that the SD didn't really frustrate Alex, but was definitely the edge in terms of that particular game. SV again, just running it back. It's a good stage for both of them, so I don't think either of them are going to switch. It might honestly be a slightly worse stage for Rob, but Snowglobe's having one on it probably isn't going to like find it worth banning, especially when there are like bigger stages that Snowglobes might prefer, because obviously you can't really camp as Rob in this matchup. Yeah. So something like Town and City goes from like a pretty good stage for Rob to like kind of terrible in this matchup.
Some pressure with the gyro there. It's
really interesting.
Yeah, Alex gets out of it though. Doesn't even need to use the reflection on the up smash there. But Alex still finds himself in kind of a percent deficit, courtesy of those projectiles. There's a back air, gonna connect, but it's not gonna quite kill Alex off stage. There it is, and that's gonna be the stock. No way to make it back for the Min there. Nicely done by Snowglobes there. And that's what you talked about, you know, you want to take more advantage of those offstage situations and just get Min stock every single time you get to offstage.
Yeah. Min has basically one option, and that's jump. And once the jump goes away, Min has to up B at some point. Arms can protect you, but when you've got rocket fuel like Rob does, you can just kind of float over them. But I mean, what was interesting before is that like something like a Min like forward air, if it's Dragon Laser, will go all the way to center stage. So what Snowglobes was trying to do in sort of the beginning of this game was like stay around center in an attempt to avoid Min's threat bubble, but the threat bubble is so big that it didn't work. And what Snowglobes has realized is that it's much more effective to just kind of sit at a range where arms are like kind of reactable, and then shield.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, the Rob doesn't really have the mobility to punish on a whiff against the Min here, so this is why Snowglobes has been more looking for those lasers and for those safe approaches with the backer. You know, the auto space really helping Snowglobes out here to apply some safe pressure. And there it is once again, Min off stage, or just barely gets the tether to the ledge.
Yeah, it's a really smart idea to go for side B there to try and catch the tether, just because of how active it is. Some really good pressure. Again, trying to deal with that tether invulnerability and just get is that it? No. Trying to deal with tether invulnerability. Again, I think the jump's gone, that's it, yeah.
Yeah. Alright, good stuff.
I mean, really making the most of those this time.
Yeah,
definitely didn't do it as well as...
This is really good from Snowglobes right now. You know, he has been kind of struggling with the offstage play against ALX in the first game, and has kind of it out, has won it, but still it could have been cleaner, and now has it all cleaned up. This is looking way better for Snowglobes and has a very strong lead now as well, although one strong megawatt here could help ALX already take that stock back. It's certainly working on those percent at the moment. And there is a good approach though from Snowglobes, getting the neutral air, setting up for some follow-ups.
It's just smart and doing a lot of combos to kind of corner carry and position Min off stage. Generally, like changing his combo routes to make sure that he gets Min right where he wants him to be.
Oh,
is that it? Yeah.
And that is what Snowglobes has been looking for the entire time. Yeah. Getting it finally there, getting the 2-frame off that tether, and of course the stage spike, like that is really difficult to react to get the tech there. Certainly possible, because I mean Snowglobes has been juggling that for quite a while there, but unfortunately for ALX it's not gonna quite get it, and that's gonna be 2-0 to Among Us, aka Snowglobes, gonna move on to the loser semis to play Astral.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We'll see how that goes. I'm just gonna go right off the bat. I think both of those matchups are good, but I think Astral's probably going to go Hero, because I think he's more comfortable with Hero generally. And then after that we have a game against SK Wirral, so we got a lot of interesting sets coming up. If you want to see some RNG, we got a lot of that. We've got some and we've got just some fun sets, honestly. I mean, Hero Rob sounds kind of funny, kind of interesting. Sounds like there's going to be a lot of early stocks. So be sure to tune in.
Sounds also like a little bit of projectile spammy at some point. Maybe both players looking for a little bit of a slower start, just kind of checking out what the other player is looking for. But it could also go the complete other way, where they just buff themselves up in terms of hero and then just go at each other with those combos, So there's a lot of ways how this can go, and it really depends on the players now what they feel like. Maybe gonna get a slow first game just to kind of feel each other out, and then they're just going at it. That's what I would expect, but then again, we will see how it works out.
Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting to see.
But in terms of the matchup, what do you think? Like the characters, who is having the advantage there? Because both these characters are kind of slow. The Excited Rattle notwithstanding, and they have some ranged options. They have some good boxing options as well. Hero a little bit slower, of course, but has those disjoints. So I don't know which character do you think has the the matchup favor here.
I'm honestly not too sure. I think it'll be interesting. We might actually see the hero duo, because the last time these two played, that's what happened.
I'd be down.
The hero duo is hilarious. And I think Astral won. But I mean, they both have really good results. So I think it's just a question of it's just a question of how the matchup works and how willing either of them are to play it, because I don't think either of them have played it that much. I'd say that Snowgloves has probably played it a bit more, just because I think he knows hero mains in GT.
It is a rare matchup, to be fair.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
every hero matchup is rare, to be fair. It's not a very common character, so it's always and not even if you have matchup experience, it's always just courtesy of that RNG. It's always volatile. The hero can just slap out really good spells and get all those buffs, and you basically see no way to win it, or they can just completely flop and you can just run over them. It's really, hero is the most volatile character in the game, and that makes it really difficult to kind of predict where this is going to go.
Yeah, but knowing Snowglobes, he's going to be determined to make us say sus Among Us is in grand finals. So
well, if Snowglobes makes it to grands, I will do it. I will call him Among Us the whole set.
The whole set is just Among Us.
That is my promise. That is my promise.
I guess you could say that the Rob matchup when Hero has bounce, it's kind of sus.
Get off my stream.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that.
I was like, I know that Shaq is like gearing up for that really bad joke. I was like, okay, he's building it up.
It's fun. If it's ironically bad, then it doesn't count.
No.
It still counts.
Comedy does not work that way.
All right, no hero, ladies and gentlemen. We're going with the Inkling first.
The Astral Inkling. That makes sense. Inkling Rob is very good, and Astral's been preferably going Inkling most of this game, only switching to hero against Puff and Bowser. So definitely has a very competent Inkling, and definitely looking to get big Inkling combos against Big Body Rob. I wonder if he's learnt gyro combos. I feel like that could really help with Rob as a character.
Oh, the reset.
Oh, smart, going for the jab lock. This is a lot of really good sustained pressure, and Snowglobe's sitting pretty at 104%, and in the corner. Really not anymore.
Yeah, a little bit of an obvious roller there, though, from Astral, Among Us, or Snowglobes. I'm just going to call him Snowglobes until we get to the grand final. Snowglobes has been able to just really easily shield that and then get a nice little punish, but still, of course, only 80% on the Inkling here. One up throw up air might do it if it still confirms, which I'm not quite sure about, but we'll see. I mean, Rob is a heavy character and a large character as well. It's going to certainly work in their favor, but there's a quick mash from Astral to get out of that situation. No up smash for Snow Globes quite yet.
I think both of these players have very quick mashes, and in both of these matchups, that's very important. So we're not going to see too many gimmicks in that from that point of view. But Snow Globes is just trying to be a bit more patient, trying to wall out Astral now, and stall in the air and just make it harder to trap him, but unable to deal with this pressure really, and taking much higher percent. Astral kind of fishing for that back air now, needs a kill. The Carol Roller would do it.
Yeah, and this is where it gets difficult for the Inkling. You know, although these confirms are basically off the charts here, the only confirm they potentially can get is the roller, but that is a very risky option to throw out against the Rocky, who's so very strong, can kill you in one move, especially if you're at 150 yourself. So both these players are really holding onto their stock as if their life depends on it, as it does. But there's another good roll read.
And Snow Globes is now really in a very advantageous position because Astral's going to get very impatient, going to start looking for kills, and that's kind of where you want to be as someone who's playing more campy. Gets like a solid 36 before reset, and I think the problem with finding a kill finding a kill for Inkling in this matchup is that Inkling's going to have to use throws a lot, as we saw, because a lot of Inkling's moves condition you to shield, and Inkling's throws don't really kill, which normally isn't terrible because you're setting up for like ledge trapping and edge guarding, but you don't really have to deal with that if you're Rob. So finding a kill can be really difficult because your main like way of finding kills, which is usually just like ledge trapping and edge guarding, kind of doesn't really exist. We're gonna see something? No.
Yeah. Nice fast match.
Too quick. Yeah,
as you said, both these players are having some quite fast matches, so getting out just in time to avoid that forward smash. And yeah, I mean, as you said, let's see what Snow Globes can do here. Looking for that one confirm percent right now, certainly in Snow Globes' favor, as the Rob's just way heavier. Looking for those gyros, gets the neutral air, sending Astral into the air. But none of them quite finding the killing blow yet, and this is really more or less looking like the first stock, but there is the confirm of the gyro into the back air.
Snow Globes begging Astral to neutral get up there, saying go on, do it. I know there's one frame of invul, but I am mashing this down throw, and I'm getting that confirm.
And did so indeed, and now it gets a nice string there to get some massive damage on Astral, and there is the back air read on that jump. Snow Globes is going to take the first game.
Really early. And Snow Globes doing what I was talking about in the first stock and just abusing the fact that Astral has to look for a kill. Astral has to approach, and Astral's going to get impatient doing that. And you can get your nair confirms and your throw combos by just kind of waiting for Astral to come to you and punishing his approaches.
That was really good, actually. You know, the game was really even up until that point where Snow Globes got the second stock off. Both players were at high percent, and then Snow Globes absolutely went off with those combos and those reads, man. So good. Love to see it.
Yeah, definitely. And the question is that like a sustained thing? Does Snow Globes have the download? Is it just because Astral was fishing too hard for the kill? Is Astral going to come back and adapt in a way that Snow Globes isn't necessarily prepared for? There's a lot of sort of there's a lot of good options available to you.
I would say it's certainly possible here for Astral to make it back with the Inkling if they don't want to go for the hero in this matchup. I can certainly also see the hero just to challenge the range a little bit more. But if they want to stick with the Inkling, there's certainly some possibility to just clean up some more of those confirms, maybe. You know, getting those kills earlier is really what Astral's gonna have to look for, because letting Rob live to max rage is super scary. And we're gonna stick with the Inkling. All right. Let's get into it here. Game 2. potential for Snow Globes to close it out 2-0 and to move on to losers finals against Squirrel. But not if Astral has anything to say about it. PS2 is going to be the pick, and what do you think about that for Astral here?
I think, again, it's a very neutral stage. It's very good for Rob, but it's probably also pretty good for Inkling. I wouldn't, like... I'd say just because it's long, and because it has good, like, side blast zones and ceiling blast zones, it's probably a bit better for Rob. But I think a lot of people just default to PS2 because it's the most neutral stage in the game, really. So it's very hard to go wrong with it.
Yeah, and I think the better stages here for Astro has probably been banned out by Snow Globes as well. Oh man, the gyro interrupting the combo there from Astral. Snow Globes taking advantage of it, getting some damage there as well with the grab. And still, once again, looking here in Snow Globes' favor, but this is still very early goings. There's still much to play here in this set, or in this game rather.
Oh, Snow Globes again going for the down tilt setups, but not getting it. That could have been down tilt, Barry, and maybe a kill. But with a commanding percent lead now, definitely looking for like that nair to back air or just a solid back air confirm. Astral just kind of waiting, being patient. Snow Globes is going to have to approach if he wants the kill! Smart read. Again, just dashing in to bait out the roll in, knowing that Astral, when that bait has been set, Astral's been taking it throughout the set, so just recognizing that and going for it again. Very smart.
Yeah, and Snow Globes is so smart in that regard as well, placing the gyro down just to, you know, get those approaches out of the picture here from Astral, because they're usually done through dashes, because Inkling dash is really good. But as the gyro is grounded, it's gonna clash every single time.
Yeah, so it can be very difficult for Inkling to deal with that. Again, getting another nair. I mean, Snow Globes now full stock ahead. Astral really needs to start finding some kind of confirm kills soon. Like, Snow Globes' DI has been pretty decent. Astral's just not been able to get anything going, which can be a real problem.
And those quick options from Rob after a more laggy option like the neutral air, you know, you come down, neutral air, almost no lag when landing it correctly, and then you get those down tilts, and even though Astral, you know, thought that I had the read, they just can't really get anything started. Getting those buries though with the roller is going to be one way to take those stock off, but once again, almost letting Snow Globes live to 150%, certainly has to somehow find a way to take those stocks earlier.
Yeah.
Which is how do you do that? I mean, there's some nice combos there. Inkling gameplay, basically, very free-flowing stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Astral's been trying to loop into throws for a while. Lucky to not get the kill there. Forward air, not going to take it, but Snow Globes doesn't have a jump.
No!
Tried to tech it, but fell out of the multi-hits. They just buffered air dodge. That sucks. With the up throw up air taking it.
It's a cheeky little taunt there as well.
Yeah, we're in an even position pretty much. Snow Globes immediately going for attack down the platform, but now he's inked up, and that's going to be really tough because obviously Inkling gets so much extra damage and general buffs when their opponent's inked up.
Yeah, and this is why Inkling's jab is just so good. Not only does it deal massive damage, but it also gets you inked up like to full. It's actually ridiculous how good the jab is.
Yeah, it's the best rapid jab in the game by like a country mile.
Yeah, it's not as applicable in this particular matchup because Rob's really good at spacing the Inkling out, but when you connect it, it's almost worth it every single time. You can see one way.
The smart low profile there. Just to use shield neutral B. And
what a catch!
Very nice catch. Astral got a lot better with his combos as time went on. He got a lot better with juggling generally. And I'd say that he sort of adapted to Snow Globes' defensive options quite well. And ended up kind of dealing with it, ended up taking advantage of what he has in the matchup, which is long combos and solid strings. So I wonder what stage we will see next. Probably some bans, some interesting picks.
If you're Rob here, because this is Snow Globes' counter pick, I would expect something along the lines of Town and City. Maybe Smashville, but I don't expect Smashville here. I think this is more in Inkling's favor. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
A small little palette change here once again for Snowglobes. He likes to switch it around a bit. All right,
yeah, Snowglobes doesn't have character counter picks. He just picks a different skin and pretends it's a different character.
Oh no, we're going back to
Maybe
PS2.
Alright, yeah. I don't think either of them particularly hate this stage. I think they're both comfortable running it back, so... I know Snowglobes hasn't seemed very particular about stages this entire run, and generally I don't think he is that much. But yeah. It's a really good start from him, actually. Astral not spacing these aerials as well as Snowglobes has been, and Snowglobes has found a few openings because of that. But the big rapid jab coming out.
I feel like every single time Astral finds his way around the gyro, it just looks way better for the Inkling. You know, as long as the gyro is out, it protects Snowglobes. Snowglobes is in a big advantage, but the few times that Astral has found a way around, has always been able to get at least something onto Snowglobes here.
Definitely, I just think the fact that it's I'm interested as to why Astral is throwing out a lot of these nades because they aren't really working. But what I was gonna say is yeah, the fact that you can just deal with Inkling dash in the way that Rob Gyro can is really strong. It basically turns one of the key approach options in Inkling's game plan into something that she can't really do, and that kind of sucks in this matchup specifically. But obviously Inkling does still have big combos, does still have some strong juggling and edge guarding, so the matchup's by no means, you know, bad for either character.
Certainly, I mean, we saw Astral finding some good openings in the last game as well to close it out, specifically towards the end, where they've been really getting into the groove. And that's going to be an easy punish, though, on that side B on shield. Not a safe move on shield at all, but it's very prone to releasing shield too early. But that is the up air on the platform.
That wasn't, take it. I mean, it's like annoying to DI it because it's a little bit RNG where the angle goes, but that probably wasn't great DI, I'll be honest. But it is PS2, so maybe it was just fine. And you know, being on the platform on PS2 is just a terrible place to be, so maybe you will die at 90 to a roll up air. Again, another up air consistent. Consistently getting those. Wasn't actually consistently getting those in the game that he lost earlier on in the set. But
yeah, I like to see those confirms coming through for Astral a little bit more, where they, you know, really get more reliable damage. But at this point, I think at 128, those confirms are more or less off the table, so this could be really difficult here for Astral now to close out this stock here. Gets the forward air, but it's not going to quite do it. And, you know, Snowglobes going very quickly just get back to center.
Trying to reset. That nair was big, and it's unfortunate he didn't, like, capitalize off of it, because that could have really helped them make the most of the fact that Astral's looking for a kill now and is kind of fishing. Astral's doing a good job at using gyro to get space. Astral's doing a good job of using full hop as well to, like, get in. Those nades paying off, but it's sent the wrong way.
Oh man, this bad bomb. I thought that was death for sure, but launching into the wrong way is really bad for Astral, because look at those percents on Snowglobes right now. A full range Rob is one of the scariest things in existence. There is the bury into the potential upstage. No, Astral's just barely quick enough.
That could have killed at 80, to be honest.
Yes.
Astral's doing a really good job at, like, getting low profiles to work out now and getting the and using, like, full hops to go over stuff. Just generally a lot more approach mix-ups than the normal, like, short hop aerial type stuff that you see. Again, there you go. You see the dash to get under the laser. So definitely a lot more approach mix-ups, and that's why Astral has been able to rack up a lot more damage than he has in previous games.
Ooh, nice. Good catch from Astral, getting the back air, closing off the stock. Finally, you have to say, from Astral's perspective.
Yeah, definitely. And realizing that he can't use, like, he can't chase Rob that far, but he can throw gyro and then react to whatever Rob does when it comes back down. So very smart, like, ledge trapping to kind of use Rob's own kit against him to help deal with the stalling.
Something worth noting as well is that Snowglobes really has not been charging Gyro for the same reason that we've outlined, that it's really good at just stopping Inkling Dash, because if you charge it, it goes further and stays in the air longer, giving Inkling some opportunity to just dodge it with that dash. Instead, just gonna not charge it, gonna put it on the ground and leave it there as a stage hazard, basically, just to really deter Astral from approaching and getting something started. And this is those small things, right, which really make the difference here.
Yeah. This is a really risky situation for Astral, and Snowglobes are just kind of being patient and waiting and realizing, hey, look, there's a timer, and there's only under 2 minutes left on it, and I have way less damage. So unless Astral pulls off something big, Snowglobes might not even need to get this kill.
Yeah, this is not quick play. Damage is enough to not get a sudden death here. So certainly, Snowglobes has the option to run with it and just let Astral approach, because they have to. There is the up throw ramming the Inkling into the ground. A little bit savage there, but it's gonna take this out.
The advantage that Snowglobes has now is that Snowglobes doesn't have to really approach at all, and anytime he does, it's basically just a mix-up. Because he has this full stock lead, 1 minute left into the set. He can basically just stall as much as he wants. If he actually approaches more here, Astral's going to be really surprised by that, and it could work. And we're seeing that.
That could have been a nasty extension there. Oh, try for it with those
now with this huge percent lead, I mean, the game's basically already over. It's just a question of whether or not Snowglobes can get the kill before the time runs out, unless Astral pulls off something ridiculous and gets 2 kills in the next 30 seconds.
I mean,
I'm not sure if Astral's got
Inkling is a character that can do that, but it's very unlikely, and the more time passes, the more time is wasted. It's not going to be enough, and there it is. Snowglobes gets the game, gets the set 2-1, and moves on to play Squirrel in losers finals.
Yeah. Just really smart from Snowglobes to just wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. Even when he was getting beat up, he knew he had the lead. And the more you wait, the more desperate your opponent's going to get. And you can just use that to rack up damage, extend your lead, and make it really impossible to do anything. And in the end, he didn't need the timeout, but it was always there. And it was making Astral have to get frustrated and commit harder and go for more risks. And because of that, it allowed Snowglobes to just rack up more damage. But now we have Rob versus Duck Hunt. So Sosa Among Us versus Squirrel.
Yeah,
we will see how that goes.
Rob versus Rob versus Duck Hunt sounds very tedious for the Rob, if I have to be honest. I think there's more ranged options for the Duck Hunt to play with, but we will see. I mean, Snowglobes has really been showing up, and as soon as they get a combo started with that neutral air, it could theoretically be already it for Squirrel for that stock. So it's really about how optimized the combos are from Snowglobes here.
Definitely, yeah. It's just gonna be about how much can Snowglobes do once he gets in. Now, Squirrel has actually won 2 best-of-5 sets against my brain. Okay, Squirrel's won 2 best-of-5 sets against Snowglobes.
Mm-hmm.
Used the Mii Sword Fighter a little bit in them, actually, which is, I assume, where the Squirrel comes from. They were actually on the same night. It was the bracket, it was Grands of Cerulean Showdown 90.
Okay.
And generally, Squirrel has been performing better at like similar events. To be fair, EU Boot Camp 120, I think Snowglobes did better, but generally, I think Squirrel is probably the favorite going in. Has the better set record, has the better events record, if we're looking at how they performed in the same events. But it's still very close. These aren't like big differences or big gaps. But Snowglobes going in is going to be a bit worried, probably. I think having experienced that 6-0 kind of makes you a bit fearful of your opponent in a way, and we'll see if Squirrel can take advantage of that.
Well, let's see. I mean, Squirrel has been really, showing up lately, and the Duck Hunt is, as we've seen already in Winners Finals and versus Spag, more so even against Dog in Winners Semis. Just a really good Duck Hunt, very methodical, almost, I would say. It's very smart play from Squirrel, so I would expect to see the same thing here against Snow Globes as well. And to just really snuff out what Snow Globes is going for, and then just cover everything in that regard, and not really give I'm not gonna say Among Us yet, not yet. Give Snow Globes a way in to get those combos started,
Say it.
Say
not
it.
Yet.
I know. I've seen you say it in chat.
I said, and I'll stick to it. If they get to grand finals, I'll call them Among Us all the time. I have no qualms.
I'll say Among Us the entire time. If Snow Globes makes it to grands, that is his reward.
Yes.
But we do have some Duck Hunt mains in the chat who don't want that to happen. So good old Burning Tea. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think that Rob, being a big body, could struggle, but he's definitely rewarded really highly for getting in. You've seen that Snow Globes' ledge traps have been really good this entire run, so this could go either way, really.
Yeah, and you see that Snow Globes is really picking the more aggressive approach already, because he knows that the moment he gives Squirrel some time to set stuff up, this is where it goes downhill.
Yeah, and just using his projectiles to harass Duck Hunt and make sure that Squirrel can't really get anything going in like the traditional sense. And Squirrel's actually approaching a little bit more now, because most of their setups are just being stuffed out by Rob projectiles.
Yeah, it really seems like that Gyro's like really good against the gunman there.
It eats Clay Pigeon completely. That's really good for the matchup. But as we know, Squirrel has won this matchup before against Snow Globes, so we'll see how it goes.
It's certainly possible, but certainly Snow Globes here with the better start. But there is the Clay Pigeon connecting, which means that still gets, albeit a very small follow-up, but still gets some additional damage off it. And there are those up airs coming.
Really solid ledge trapping and transitioning into a juggle situation, so you keep your advantage going. Generally, taking out Rob's big body. I don't know what just happened, but that was cool. Yeet smash DBZ moments when.
That was so good. He just got the reflected can to connect on both of them, and they just exploded off the top. That was so cool. What a situation.
That increased knockback. Again, Rob Laser just destroying Gunman. Can make it really difficult. But Snow Globes' ledge trap's not doing as well there. And this just looks really even. I really can't look at you and say that that anyone is really a favorite to win this.
Yeah, there's the setup with the gyro. Expects a attack roll outwards there as well, but Squirrel instead's gonna roll in, avoid that situation entirely, and it's gonna stay alive here. Has eaten a bit more percent from Snow Globes here than Squirrel has been able to deal back to the Rob here, and there is the Robo Arms coming through as well, sending Squirrel to the left blast zone there, and gonna take the lead. And this is very important, to take a lead against the Duck Hunt here, because it makes it way easier to just play against it.
The gyro interrupting Squirrel as they were trying to get the follow-up to Clay Pigeon, and then trying to do another Clay Pigeon and getting stopped by the gyro again. Clearly, I think it's just kind of key part of the matchup that Gyro is just so good against these projectiles generally. Probably not Gunman, but Clay Pigeon and Can especially. You saw that there, and Squirrel hasn't really been able to find a kill confirm. That was really their first opportunity at getting one. And Snow Globes is doing a good job of using disjoints and projectiles to just hit away Can to the he doesn't die to it.
Yeah.
At about 170 now.
At this point, a forward tilt at the ledge will probably take it here for Scroll, but finding it first is going to be the issue. Gets the trade with the can, it's going to take the stock off, but 130% now on the Duck Hunt already. It's looking kind of dire here for Scroll in this first game.
Was it worth trading when you're at that percent and you're that much heavier than your opponent? And you're stock down? I'm not sure if it was. I think that, you know, it got the job done, but it could put Squirrel in a potentially bad position, but you don't know. It looks like Squirrel is making a bit of a comeback. Snowglobe's struggling to find the kill here.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it was worth in the regard that they didn't really get the kill beforehand. Although that's going to certainly not take it.
Oh, good
that's what I wanted to say. It's still staying alive with good DI there. And has another chance here to make this one back, although one single touch.
From Snowglobes there was really smart. Just right in front of the can, so that if Squirrel wants to press the button, it's just going to come right back at him. That it? Nah, yeah. Yeah, it's such a high percent that starts working,
Yeah, at some point everything's going to start to kill. Even Weak Kid Nair is going to do it there, so... there it is. Snowglobes clutching it out for the first game. This is a best of 5, so there's still a lot more to go. But certainly good stuff here for Snowglobes getting into the lead.
Yeah, and I mean, FD isn't actually a great pick. Well, it's the third best pick for Squirrel. So it's they still have like a 65% win rate about, but they have 68% on PS2 and 67% on Battlefield. So it's a good stage because it's flat and it's harder to approach. But in the same sense, Duck Hunt has so many good options for pressuring platforms. And generally, because platforms are sticky, they can be a real wall when trying to approach you. That it's at the point where on big stages like PS2 and Battlefield, it's kind of preferred.
Yeah. I agree. Usually the Duck Hunts find a lot of those platforms where they can just hide under, and having that against the Rob as well can be beneficial here. I mean, the gyro and the laser are still going to be annoying, but the Rob really likes to approach from the air, right? With those neutral airs most likely, forward airs sometimes as well, and that really gets more or less just taken away by those platforms as we get to Battlefield indeed. And we see Skull already starting off strong with a Clay Pigeon into up smash confirmed there.
Yeah, definitely. It's a really strong advantage state for Squirrel so far. That down throw can conversion was nice. And Snowglobes has no idea what's been happening. He's sitting at 130, 145, looking for an up air kill now, but Battlefield has a very high ceiling, as we said. Better win rate for Squirrel though. And partly just because of the platforms allowing Squirrel to refresh his jumps and down throw up air. Going again to refresh his jumps to make it harder for Rob to land generally because of that coverage and because of how sticky the platforms are. But being a full stock lead ahead is a really good advantage in this matchup, and it means that Squirrel doesn't really have to approach now. Can just kind of wait and get, still does, but can wait and use like Gunman and Clay Pigeon to find openings whilst retreating, as we saw there, and then just kind of go with it afterwards.
The change-up in tempo has really been benefiting Skull so far. You see a way more aggressive approach here from Skull's Duck Hunt against the Rob here, just because so many options are taken away by those platforms. It just really gives Squirrel so much leeway to basically do what they want with Snowglobes here. It's really looking impeccable right now.
I actually think the smaller stage is helping with that as well. Just the fact that you don't have to deal with Rob's projectiles as much. Rob's projectiles aren't necessarily better on platforms because they tend to cover a lot more like horizontal space very quickly. You can just kind of retreat to platforms to get over them. And I mean, this is commanding. I think Snowglobes was really caught off guard in the first stock and still hasn't really been able to deal with this very new aggressive approach from Squirrel, or at least new to this set approach from Squirrel. We do know that Squirrel can play like this, but definitely wasn't the game plan in game one. And there goes the down tilt. No, the forward tilt, sorry, the down angle forward tilt, the daft. And you know what's daft? Going from losing game 1 to potentially getting a 3-stock, that's kind of daft.
Yeah.
Oh, these setups are ridiculous.
Skill is just confirming of everything right now.
Yeah, so good at doing like reverse can to make sure that you can keep can exactly where you want it, which at that point was neutral get up distance. You got some gyro confirms there as well. Squirrel is just realizing, hey, this is a big body. This is combo food. I can work with this. I can ledge trap this really well. Doing a lot more gyro stuff as well, just focusing on grabbing it instead of trying to beat it out with any projectiles. This is ridiculous. And the gunman, the coverage there was amazing.
Oh, up air not quite connecting that. That certainly would have taken it, I think. Unfortunately for Skull, Globes is falling out of it right there.
Yeah, Globes just breaking out of the corner. Got to get something going. Hopefully like a Nair gyro setup. It's the only thing I can think of to get him back into this.
High gyro, but once again, like one forward tilt at this point will probably take it. Throw backwards.
Interesting back. I'm assuming it's just a DI mix-up or something, or maybe there was a can there that I didn't see.
Potentially, I'm not sure. Maybe Skull thought there was a can, but there wasn't one. Also could be the case. But at this point, I mean, Skull needs to connect one move. I don't think that Dakan has any kill throws.
No, Dakan doesn't really have kill throws, but the fact that you can put your opponent in disadvantage and go for like an up air or a back air is kind of ideal. Again, the gyro coming in clutch for Snow Globes, and the side B back air finally taking it. Squirrel really doing a good job of ledge trapping that time. Really doing a good job of platform pressure. Generally using the platforms to refresh his own jumps to go for like up air confirms. And most importantly, stock 1, he came out and he approached hard. And Snow Globes had no idea how to deal with the wave of setups that was coming his way.
Yeah, that was absolutely ridiculously smart aggression there from Squirrel. You know, not really trying to just run in and try to connect some moves. No, there was some thought behind it. There were some, projectiles accompanying the Duck Hunt while he was running in. There was some smart mix-ups with grab as well. Just so amazing from Squirrel there.
Yeah, we actually just, I saw Burning in chat say that he likes taking Duck Hunt or Rob to smaller stages because Rob is actually better at camping in the matchup. And I can kind of understand that because projectiles like laser will just out most of what Duck Hunt has. Gyro as well will obviously do what we saw to Clay Pigeon. And I mean, both players have very good win rates on this stage, so this could go either way, but we've definitely seen how much of a weapon SK Wirral can be on this stage. But yeah, it looks like approaching was the game plan. That I think that SK Wirral realized that he was just kind of playing the matchup wrong, and he needed to hit Snow Globes with this torrent of setups and projectiles, and he can use, as we're seeing, he can use gyro for even more option coverage. So SK Wirral is doing really well at combining all of those projectiles to just make sure that Snow Globes can't breathe. And at 73-86 now.
Yeah, it's still kind of looking like the last game, although it seems like that the more open stage is really benefiting Snow Globes a bit more because they can get those aerial approaches. They don't really have to rely almost solely on camping with laser or gyro. You can actually do something with your normals here. But the can actually being annoying, they're interrupting the approach from Snow Globes there. So still Skull staying safe, getting more damage applied to the Rob. And cannot quite get the confirm into the can there because the can was still around for quite some time, so it was close to exploding there. No much control over that, but
yeah,
there
the can shield setup. Just going for it. Smart bait and the...
Oh my goodness, nice. That was 50%.
Yeah, I saw that can and I was just like, he's going for it. And it was a really smart confirm from them. Using the counter protect the recovery and then transition for ledge trapping. Again hit with the can pressure setup. Snow Globes, he needs to learn how to deal with that and just wait, maybe go for a throw combo there.
Yeah, so many cans connecting at the moment is really just adding so much percent to Snow Globes' second stock.
And
nice and smart robo arms there to reflect the can and get the kill off the side.
Definitely, it's a very active move, so it's going to cover a neutral get up, and of course it reflects. So it was probably the best option when Can's at ledge, and Duck Hunt's probably going to neutral get up just so that you don't cover it.
Alright, you can see that Snowglobes is really looking for that bit of distance, you know, get away from that really aggressive, albeit minimal threat bubble from the Duck Hunt here. But so far, Skrill has just been keeping up the pressure. 150% here on the Rob. One good confirm of a Grant, maybe of a Can, something along those lines.
But unfortunately, still not able to close things out. Again, trading with the gyro, can't get the back air confirmed, but it will probably work at this percent. Down throw up air as well might work. Which is threatening because it means that Snowglobes is going to be a lot more scared to shield, but of course has that gyro out of shield on deck.
Here we go now, Skrill struggling a little bit more to find that kill, wants to do so as quickly as possible here before taking more damage, because one of those backers that Snowglobes now throwing out could be the death of the Duck Hunt stock as well. Skrill has to find the close quarter engagement here, because otherwise the gyros and the lasers going to be so good. Gets it there with the back air. Good connection on that one.
Yeah, just really smart coverage, pressuring Snowglobes until he has to roll, making him feel like he can't jump. Another confirm. That's beautiful. Down there. Oh, good DI. Good DI. Making sure that even if he missed the tech, he was fine. But this is still commanding for SK Whirl.
Oh, interesting interaction.
The air dodge there. Okay. Oh, couldn't type that. But the air dodge there was interesting from Snowglobes. I think that was just to catch the gyro.
Alright. And that is Skrill once again just keeping up the game plan from the second game as well, and taking this game here, going up 2-1 against Snowglobes here. So one more game needed for Skrill to potentially close this out and get the rematch against Spag. But of course, you know, Snowglobes is looking to advance into grand finals to be called Among Us the whole time. So there's a lot riding on this next game here.
maybe that'll motivate him to get that last push and get into grands, but this is just really dominating from SK Whirl. Obviously, Snowglobes, having played 2 best-of-5 sets, hadn't actually taken a game until now. But having taken a game, I think SK Whirl realized how the matchup works, realized how to play it, and just kind of got the download on it. I don't know if Snowglobes is going to go for a counter pick. I kind of doubt it. So it's a question of, can Snowglobes adapt to what SK Whirl is doing, which you saw sort of a significant improvement from game 2 to game 3. Okay, Squirrel, sorry. Okay, yeah, that makes. I see the capitalization and I think of it wrong.
We had a discussion. We had a discussion pre-stream about this. If you're gonna put caps mid-name, we're gonna pronounce those caps.
SK Whirl. You know, squirrel. Is that what you prefer?
We actually
you don't even play the Mies anymore.
We actually did have a long discussion about this mid-stream about how to pronounce tags that include numbers or random caps. And the consensus we all came to was, if they got numbers or random caps in the middle of the name, you pronounce those.
Yeah. I don't know. The thing is, I just say Gadaka because saying GDAKA is just like for Astral, I mean. That just sounds like a massive pain.
It's a little bit too long, I agree. I mean, yeah. We have the advantage of just going for Astral.
I mean, I've known him for like a year. I have no idea what that stands for.
Well, might be time to ask him at some point, but this is not about Astral right here. We are still looking at Skrill versus Snowglobes right here, getting to a 4th game. And PS2 once again here, the run back coming in from Snowglobes.
Yeah, it's very wide, so Snowglobes is going to feel like he's got the benefit in that regard, especially because the down throw up smash and down throw up till up air confirms work so much earlier. But I don't know, it's also a very good stage for Whirl, as we've mentioned previously. Best win rate on this stage, very good stage for Duck Hunt, because you've got plats for your setups, because you've got a low ceiling for your confirms. So generally, really good. I think Snowglobes is probably performing better than the other 2 games than the last 2 games since we're all kind of figured out the matchup and started approaching a bit more. But still not ideal for Snowglobes. Still a bit down and out.
Yeah, it's still certainly in Skull's favor here early on, and there you can see it, you know, covering his approach with the gunman, very smart. Gets the trade with the can as well, which sometimes just leads to follow-ups for the duck hunt, but there's a good tech on the platform, getting rid of that, confirmed to the back air. So, Snowglobe still holding on, nice little launch of the can there as well, just applying so much pressure on that shield from Snowglobes, but the laser is going to buy him so much time. This is going to be the grab into a potential up air. No mash on this one. Yeah. Almost works out, but gets the up air in the end.
Yeah, it's an interesting... I'm not sure if that was a mix-up or if it just genuinely takes that long to get out of Rob down throw.
No, I think it was a mix-up.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too, but you never know. So it was a smart mix-up, but still didn't work. Obviously, Rob up air is a very lagless move, so it can be frustrating. But this game is still very much even. I love really
that back throw into the can and extends it off with the up air as well. That's just so much damage here for Skrill, and he still keeps going. Has the gyro in hand now as well.
Oh, another like gyro back air B&B there. The fact that you can also use gyro for option coverage is just that little bit of like. That just makes Duck Hunt's already ridiculously strong coverage even stronger. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, as soon as Skrill gets his hands on that gyro, Snowglobes is really looking a little bit lost, because then you lose one of your best tools to deal with Skrill's projectiles, and Skrill has another tool to extend combos off with. That is just adding so much pressure to Skrill's gameplay. But once again, we're finding ourselves in a similar situation than the first stocks here, where Skrill has Snowglobes at high percents, but has to find the kill at some point.
And another up throw confirmed there. Just getting all of these really nice can confirms. You actually saw earlier that can wouldn't have hit Snowglobes if he did his down tilt pressure, so he went for it anyway, but Squirrel actually popped it up, so it went over his shield and still hit Snowglobes. Snowglobes still hit the can. The down throw confirmed not working just yet, the stage positioning a little bit off for it. But it's a nice idea. And this is where things can get kind of dire. Rob is at max rage. This is where you can get a bit frustrated and unable to get the kill. And this is where Snowglobes can really capitalize, because the second stock is so important in these games.
At this point,
defining point.
I really like to see the patience from Squirrel, though, as well as he connects the can there, finally getting that stock off. But if you go for risky stuff at these high rage percents, then Snowglobes gets a kill almost certainly. So I really like that Squirrel played it safe there. 8 some more percents for it, that is for sure. But so far it's really been working out for Squirrel if they have the stocking, because they can choose their engages very smartly and very wisely.
Yeah, and it seems like Snowglobes are just kind of struggling to find this kill now. Definitely needs to find it soon. Has already taken 50% for his measure. The timer is not helping. The fact that Snowglobes has had a patient playstyle is actually putting him a little bit at a disadvantage, because he is kind of down in percents right now. So if Squirrel wanted to, he could probably go for a timeout. But I don't think he wants to, and I also don't think that's great for the matchup, to be fair.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, Skull got nicely confirmed there before getting that stock taken off, adding some more damage to Snowglobes' stock here. So one or two more good engages from Skull could be the set. There's a nice little confirm to the back as well of the Clay Pigeon. And there's the spike! Yeah, he's gonna do it! Skull takes the set 3-1, moving on to Grand Finals to get that rematch against Spag.
Yeah, lovely just really played from Squirrel. Really fun to watch. Those like setups were really creative, especially when Gyro was like incorporated in there. There were all of these like zones. It's the kind of thing where I analyze VODs. I use like Q and I put like lines out where in the space that certain setups will cover. But I feel like I'd just be kind of scribbling.
Yeah. I mean,
because it's so creative and it's so well done, and so much space is covered at the same time. It's really hard to deal with, and when that wall is approaching you, it can feel really oppressive.
While we wait for the players to set up, I'm really sorry, but I have to go for a quick dash here. But I'll be back in just a minute, so we can get into our grand finals. But I'm gonna leave the stream for you for a second there, Chucky. I'm right back.
Okay. Alright, we've got SK Wirral versus Spag. So, let's do a quick...
It's all up to you. You are alone.
I am alone.
Yes.
Okay.
You must entertain the stream by yourself.
Great. Alright, grand finals, it is just me.
It's a good thing I turned the mic back on, otherwise you would have sounded insane right there.
Oh, you weren't talking to stream there. Okay. Okay, so grand finals.
Yeah.
Okay. So, grand finals, Squirrel versus Spag. These guys have never played. They've only entered 3 of the same tournaments, and they've placed pretty similarly. They're both doing quite well. The question is Pit's bad M ability gonna force Spag to switch? Because Spag has a Bayo, which could be useful because of Witch Time, and also a Sheik, which could be useful because of general mobility and edgeguarding.
I would say, personally, Bayo would probably be better because, like you said, Witch Time is definitely a thing, especially against characters with those slow-moving projectiles. There's a lot of time for Bayo to respond to that and go, that's a free Witch Time.
Yeah.
So, none of the projectiles from Duck Hunt are, quick or unpredictable. They all have, a long wind-up. You see them coming.
Yeah. So
of those two, Sheik and Bayo, I would say Bayo would be the more powerful choice. But given how well Dark Pit worked out for Spag in Winner's Final, where Spag actually sent Squirrel down 3-1, I don't see any reason why they would change off of Dark Pit.
That is a fair point, yeah. Spag, if you didn't know, sent Squirrel down to losers using Dark Pit and using a lot of bow to interrupt Squirrel's setups. Now the kind of question is that because Squirrel's been a bit more aggressive and using a bit more like Clay Pigeon and Gunman, maybe it'll work out better. But I don't think Spag has any reason to switch off. You're right. The question is now, what stage do they go?
That's a good question. We can actually find out. Hey, welcome back. They're currently on the banning phase, so who knows?
All right.
Okay.
Gonna see what kind of stage we get. I mean, we kind of had that said obviously earlier in the winners' final. So what kind of stage is either player looking for here?
Well, it looks like Spag is going to be going Dark Pit and Squirrel is going Duck Hunt. So Smashville is already banned and off the table.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, Squirrel could... Squirrel obviously has a very aggressive Duck Hunt available. But, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they go for. Spag's best win rate is actually on Town because of, the low side blast zones. And the general fact that, Fair Trains probably work quite well there, as well as Sheik and Bayo, as we saw recently. Working quite well there, so... also quite good on PS2, which we know that Squirrel is quite good on, so... I think these characters have some stages in common. I'd say FD is probably... maybe the pick, actually. Because I think that Spag hasn't actually been doing that well on FD, whereas Squirrel definitely has. So, Spag actually has a 47% win rate on FD.
Yeah, I think this could really work out if that be the case, because not only has Skull has the free stage to just kind of control but also Spag has the opportunity to just get in with some aerial approaches. But instead, we're gonna start on the one and only starter stage, ladies and gentlemen, PS2. Let's get this grand finals going.
Yeah, and it's definitely neutral for both characters. Both characters are looking for confirms off the top. Could benefit from a stage of this length. I'd say it's pretty good for both of them. Really good use of bow again. I think there's a reason that Spag has run Dark Pit specifically, and it's just that extra damage means that it's a lot easier to deal with Gunman and Can. And Spag is just doing a really good job at not letting Squirrel set up, but once Squirrel gets going, and that can be really difficult for Spag to deal with.
Oh, alright, catches the jump to past the ledge.
Wait a little bit. Oh, it's just catches it there. I'm not even sure if Spag meant to do that, but it's what we saw. It's what happened. Some really nice confirms, but a can trade coming out of it. But,
yeah,
I mean, the thing is that can trades aren't nearly as good now because of the stock deficit. So
Spag's just slowly but surely just running away with it here. There's another trade, and Spag's gonna take those every single day of the week. There's another can hitting, but to the wrong side. It's not gonna take the stock just yet, but there it is. That's gonna be the stock. Finally here for Squirrel, gonna take that off. And Spag now still has a very strong lead. Down air, gets the spike into the up air. Still after that air dodge, just patiently waiting on the ground. But doesn't quite get the edge guard there, so Squirrel finds a way back to stage and now has the opportunity to take on some damage. That is certainly needed here for Squirrel as well if they want to stay in the game.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard for Squirrel. He needs to get something going kind of immediately. The second stock is usually really pivotal because obviously after this you have your first stock and it can be really like after this when you're on your last stock it can be really difficult and you're playing the game in an entirely different way and a lot of leads can be kind of lost or made there. But Squirrel not managing to get anything going until he lost his stock and now he kind of has to go for a big comeback here.
Yeah, and that comeback is going to be difficult because, I mean, to be honest, they have Spag at 100% already, so one good confirm could actually do it here. Maybe play Pigeon into back or something along those lines.
Fair,
so
I was saying the comeback was difficult and they immediately did like 50%.
Yeah.
So, a bit of commentator's curse there, but arguably still close to a full stock lead for Dark Pit right now.
Even though Squirrel got some nice percents and almost got the kill with that confirm as well, now that the stock has been drawn out, this is going more and more in Spag's favor slowly but surely. Oh, and he can't even make it back, Squirrel just falling to that. That's right there. And that's going to be a 2-stock to start us off here with that first game. Spag having this set 1-0 right now.
Definitely. I think Spag has kind of figured out I'd say like not figured out the matchup, but actually yeah, figured out the matchup. Definitely figured out how to stop Squirrel from getting those setups going, from being able to either zone or approach with, you know, Can, Gunman, and Clay Pigeon. The fact that DP Arrow is just good at shutting all of that down can be a really strong tool. Squirrel's gonna struggle to deal with that.
Yeah, it's not only the arrow, right, but also the orbiters coming in very strong. You know, just helping Spag to land very safely. You know, usually Squirrel has those traps on deck, but the orbiters just more or less deny those completely if they're you know, on fresh health. So this is just working out super well for Spag. You know, really seems like they have that matchup down, and now it's on Squirrel to somehow change it up. Maybe a few more grabs could be worthwhile, but then again you have a lot of disjoints on the sword bow thing that the Dark Pit has there, so it certainly will be difficult. But we see Skull starting off with a few grabs there. As Backfires right back with a nice little combo, so it's a very even start, and this kind of speaks to the smaller stage here as well, where there's going to be more scrappy action.
Yeah, and this could be good for Squirrel, as we've seen. Squirrel's quite good at approaching, but also Hit generally in the matchup might have a little bit of an advantage here. The thing about Spag, though, is that Spag has been kind of using... Yeah, this is the range that Spag has operated on. Stopping those setups with bow and forcing Squirrel to approach in a way that Squirrel doesn't really want to. And the fact that you're on SV means that they can't really do that as effectively, so... It functions as a pretty good counter pick for Squirrel, as we're seeing right now with an early lead.
Oh my goodness, what a reflection there. A little bit of baseball action coming in from Spag. He's slamming that can back into Squirrel's face. Although I would say if you slam balls back in your opponent's face in baseball, you're going to get fined for that. But there is the kill for Squirrel coming in.
As long as you say it's accidental.
True.
Trying to get some advantage state going, but a bit stopped by the platform there. Loses the stock early, but not before getting a full 60 on Spag now, who has to deal with quite a increasing and strong deficit. Another back air confirm.
Yeah, and this really changes the dynamic, right? Because now Spag is the one who has to find those approaches, and Squirrel can just lean back and let Spag come to him, and then set those traps up and just really capitalize on that lead right now. There is Spag with the entrance, gets that grab down throw into neutral air, just very simple confirm there, but Squirrel is still certainly on Spag here, you know. Spag can maybe sit there with some errors, but what are they going to do in the end, really? There's the up air as well, catching the landing from Spag, and that's a one-stock lead. Very clean here from Squirrel so far.
Definitely did a good job at saving his double jump, just waiting. And they knew that Spag was going to jump if they just sort of drifted in the right zone and threatened it. Some up air ladders right now. 40%. Almost dying to those dares though, but Pit Dare is not the strongest dare in the game by any means.
Might actually be the weakest.
Yeah, probably close to Kirby Dare in terms of like the weakest. The up tilt up air not killing just yet, but it's a nice idea.
Yeah, Squirrel just coming in with those short hop up airs. He's really good at catching any jumps from Spag, or even Spag just chilling on the platform.
And like the cans as well, and just the gunman below the platform. I don't know what time you would even get off there. There's such good pressure, and maybe that's one of the reasons why SV is a good pick here, because like the chances of you getting stuck on that platform are really high, and Duck Hunt has so much good platform pressure. We've seen Squirrel use so much good platform pressure. So their ability to do that and to abuse that has been really strong in this game, really prevalent in terms of sealing it. Hopefully for Squirrel, strong lead so far, but coming in clutch was Spag, just staying full stage. That's the thing is, that's probably why it's a counter pick. It's just that bow is going to be a little less likely to work.
There is Squirrel, Spelly dodging that one coming in. Has the cannon deck. Oh, that's going to be a way too laggy option from Spag. Very rogue option there, and Squirrel's going to punch there very effectively with the down smash there. It's going to take the game.
I actually think the can, because it's stationary, the reflect didn't really go anywhere, and because it's there, that's why the side B was active. I don't know if Squirrel set that up deliberately, or if they just kind of took advantage of it. But Spag just kind of wasn't really aware of how side being in like that position would have affected them, because it just made them really easy to whiff punish. Instead of it being on shield, it was just on the can, right in front of Squirrel, which obviously is a free punish, and that's the game. So this is very even. This could be a really long set. I could see Squirrel getting the reset potentially. I could also see that not happening. It's a very close set so far. So who knows? It could be a game 5.
Have been really showing off their strength, and I can see this going to a game 5. But I mean, we kind of saw in a similar start in our first best of 5 on the winners finals between these two, and then Spag just kind of ran with it. So let's see if Spag can fire back here, because this time around it seems like Squirrel has a little bit more momentum. But we are on Town and City,
Really nice
which means that
setup.
the side blast zones are very close here to potentially net some early stocks to Spag.
And as I was saying, Town and City has been Spag's best stage historically. But I don't think that that Squirrel has a terrible record there either. Squirrel has a 67% win rate with Duck Hunt on this stage, so that's pretty strong. About as high as Spag's as well, so it's clearly good for both of them. But what's interesting, and probably the reason why Spag picked it, is just the fact that it's so long, and having realized what being on SV did, because obviously this is a matchup where Duck Hunt kind of wants to approach and doesn't want to deal with both. Squirrel has just sort of realized, or Spag has just sort of realized, hey, high blast zone, big stage, this is perfect for me. Especially with the small sides allowing Squirrel to like get some interesting setups going, but or allowing Spag to get some like fair trains and other setups going.
I mean, that will certainly allow Spag to also live longer if they get the eye on the can correctly, because that can, if the eye to the side, the kill power is drastically reduced. But of course, that also means that Squirrel's gonna live a little bit longer, but the second up air from Spag is going to seal the deal. So even though they were down quite a few percents here after the aggressive Squirrel playstyle, they're still gonna prevail and take the first stock before Squirrel can. But there's the answer. Firing right back.
The answer to Orbitars is obviously just to up air under it. What was that angle? Okay. F tilted it and then canned it, and there was like a momentum thing there. Is that some piece of tech I don't know about?
Looked a little bit weird for sure, yeah.
Or is that just like reverse F tilt?
I have no idea.
You can reverse boost in this game.
Gonna be honest, I have no clue.
Trying to hit it back, but just getting hit for their troubles. But Squirrel's still finding a way to get in. Spag trying to approach, trying to get some stuff going, but Squirrel doing well, starting to angle can just below the Orbitars. Maybe before like Spag was doing a bit more wave bounces with the Orbitars to try and throw off that placement and make sure that they got one side of it. But we're not seeing as much of that now. There you go.
Yep.
So it's a lot harder to sort of get the can in the right position when you're mixing up your momentum like that.
The accuracy from Squirrel though is really good though with those cans.
Yeah.
You know, getting that under the Orbitars in the perfect spot where the the feed from the pit kind of
Really good
poke through is really good accuracy, and really just shows the ability from Squirrel to navigate this character. There's so much multitasking going on when you're playing Duck Hunt. It's actually insane.
Squirrel knows that Pit wants to do aerials, and so one of the setups that Squirrel's been going for is they've been just popping can right over Spag's head and saying, go on jump, I dare you, and just keeping Spag under pressure without really committing by just using can to cover Spag's best defensive option. It's really smart, and it allows Squirrel to really apply the pressure in a really creative way.
Yeah, although I have to say that Squirrel has not really been getting any, not many dares this set so far, but certainly the can's working out. Let's see if Squirrel can get that stock off here from Spag. Spag is the one struggling a little bit here to find the kill on Squirrel, and those backers now being certainly threatening as Squirrel chills on the platform, but they're not going to connect, and Squirrel just gets even more damage. There's another can just making sure that Squirrel finds his way back to the ledge right there. And there's the up there poking through as well. Yep, that's going to be it.
That was actually just the benefit of the multi-hits, because the first few hits hit the Orbitars. But Squirrel was just sort of like, oh, okay, if I just drift in, I'll get under it, and managed to get the kill. It was a smart counter pick, I think, but it didn't really end up working. I don't think Spag actually camped as much as they probably should have. They ended up getting kind of frustrated. Well, you didn't see a lot of bow camping like you were kind of expecting to, and Duck Hunt also has a lot of setups on those platforms that we saw. as well, and having like gunmen on a stage as big as town is just really useful, because it means that, you know, in situations where you'd normally be outranged, you're just not, because gunman is just so big in terms of range. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what stage happens next. I can see Squirrel probably getting the reset from here. It seems like they've kind of got things on lock, and that's the general theme with their brackets, is that they've been kind of adapting over time with each set and learning how to do it.
Yeah, and I mean, Squirrel had already 4 games in winners finals, right, to kind of get a little bit of a download on Spag. Couldn't quite do it in time, so lost that set, but coming right back here into grand finals from loser's side. Now almost has the reset on deck. So the more time is bought here by Squirrel, it seems like the more and the better they can adapt to what Spag has been doing. Look at those strings right now coming through for Skull as well. The clay pigeon as well, just to get some additional damage off stage. Skull not really willing to follow that up to get a potential back air or something along the lines, but still gonna just be very safe in center here on small battlefield, which is just basically smaller PS2 here, and still offers quite a bit to Skull here in the for those platforms. So I'd be interested to know why Spag particularly went for the smaller stage here. I think we've seen that work out for Squirrel a little bit more.
Yeah, it's worked really well, I think. So it's interesting. I mean, small battlefield is obviously very similar to PS2 in terms of layout, and I think Squirrel's going to kind of benefit from that.
Ooh, that
is killing very early. I obviously gave the fuller stage and Spag having kind of been better camping, honestly, in game 1. So it seems odd as to why Spag would pick it. Because approaching wasn't really the plan that won Spag the first set. It was just sort of waiting with bow and saying, okay, you approach me. And because Duck Hunt isn't great at that, and because you can negate his tools to do that by using bow, it worked a lot better.
Yeah, but this time around you can see how aggressive Skull is, you know, really just getting in on Spag right now and getting so much damage. Already has Spag here at the second stock, almost gets to confirm it to the back air as well, which might have just killed.
But that's the thing, is that Spag hasn't really been managing to deal with Squirrel's approaches nearly as much. And this could be a 3-stock. And it's probably going to be a 2-stock, but this has been really dominant from Squirrel. I think the small stage has definitely helped them.
And showing good command there off the can once again, just really playing ping pong with it. And there's so much pressure on Spag. As soon as he finds himself on that platform, there's really almost no way they can escape from Squirrel's aggression there. Gets the forward air though to take that stock of what, 81% on that last stock, now 97 after the can connects. Really looks like there's a 2-stock really likely here for Squirrel.
Yeah, that was probably just muscle memory, being like, oh, it's a multi-hit, oh my god! Okay, it's even.
Well, not quite, I would say, but...
Stocks.
Yeah, but that was... My goodness, that was a very aggressive option that certainly worked out there for Spag, but there's the confirm of the clay pigeon into the back air, and that is the reset. Ladies and gentlemen, we're having another best of 5 set.
We are, and Squirrel's keeping really calm, having been hit by what I can only describe as the opposite of honesty. As I've said before, there are no honest characters in this game. Everyone has a little something, and we just saw Pitt's version of that. But Squirrel kept that calm and sealed out the stock and the set. So now we have a reset, and you know, this could be a long one. It could be a bit short. I know that Squirrel has been very aggressive sort of towards the back end of that set, sped up a little bit the pace of the game. Spag really struggling to deal with that.
yeah, it's more or less been really a reversal to what we've seen in Winners Finals, where Skrull was the one who just, turns up the aggression, basically. You just saw him running around, getting all those confirms. Like, it really looked like Spag wasn't really ready for all of those. Got that cheese towards the end there, but at that point it was really too late. Skrull had so much leeway, even if he got cheesed that one time. It is still was still very likely there for Skrull to take it. Does so with a nice little confirm as well, and Skrull has been finding those confirms really effectively as well. I don't think I've seen one Orbiter trying to reflect the clay pigeon yet, although I might be wrong. But I don't know if that's worth it because, even if it's reflected, Skrull can potentially just run in and get a punish.
Yeah, that's true. It's interesting. I mean, Skrull's definitely been better at dealing with the Orbitar and has focused a lot on like spacing under it and that kind of thing. Retreating Orbitar with like wave bouncing and stuff has still been a bit of a pain in their side, but I would say that generally Skrull's been kind of adapting to it, and Spag has been kind of struggling. We might see a counter pick here, honestly. Given the reset, we might not. But it's a shame if that Bayo and that Sheik, as good as they were only for the Rob matchup specifically.
I'd actually be kind of excited to see if we got a counter pick from Spag, but for now we're gonna stick with the Dark Pit. So here we go for our grand finals reset, ladies and gentlemen. This is the last best of 5 of the day. Let's see who can close it out. Against will keep up the momentum against Spag, or gonna see a little bit of a reversal here. We're gonna see and find out very soon, as we're gonna start once again on PS2 here.
Definitely, I think both players kind of like this layout, but it's definitely working for Skrull a little bit more. Oh, almost with the kill there. Just trying to read some kind of option. Skrull jumping immediately. Did not want to be caught not pressing buttons like last time. And
hey, alright, there it is back with the aggressive
jump,
option this time around.
Definitely cost them because it meant that they had no real protection going into the dare.
Yeah, and that is smart stuff by Spag as well. It's not the first time that Skrull has been throwing out that jump when trying to recover there, so really good stuff, good awareness from Spag, going for the downer, connecting the spike as well, which isn't as easy as it sounds for the pits. Good stuff here, Spag taking the lead.
Getting it, it's going to be hard for Skrull to find a kill now, looking for an up air, back air, yep. Not really able to make the most of his involve,
hey,
but
there it is.
Nice.
The reflection on the clay pigeon. This is what I was looking for a bit from Spag there. Certainly one option to deal with it.
Oh, nice back chase. Oh, try to get the side B set up and get some confirms going.
Nice.
Dead,
Okay.
yeah. Really good edge guarding. Spag starting to abuse Dokkan's weaknesses off stage a bit more. Starting to realize why they won the first set. Starting to see the sort of benefits of both players come out in the same game. Hopefully, it's going to make hopefully, that's going to make for some really interesting sets.
Oh, there it is. Good stuff from
Let's
Skrull.
try.
Looking completely undeterred by losing that second stock. Fires right back with a very nice string there. More or less keeps it going over a very long time. Spag has not been able to touch Skrull's Duck Hunt until they got that stock taken off. Has now a little bit of a string going, but Skrull escaping. But there is more to be had. Skrull going on with those up airs though. 3 in a row is going to be some massive damage. Trying to go for a fourth there.
Great coverage there. You use Gunman and then to forward air across with Can to read the drift in. Oh, another smart Orbitar's just holding it a little bit longer than expected. But some up air strings have been really good for Skrull. Surprisingly, you'd think it'd be the projectile confirms, but so far it's just been up air. It's just been forcing Spag high with projectiles and then punishing.
Nice, there's a good punish on the Orbitar. Skrull going right in with that grab, getting some more up airs, which really have been the success factor here for Skrull so far in this last stock, connecting so many for it. I would say about 75% of that last stock is up air so far, and he still keeps it going. 150% on Spag now means one more confirm is going to seal the deal here for our first game in the reset.
Almost. I mean, both of them could really kill right now, and that's the upper. Both of them had, you know, some confirms that would work then, and those up airs just came in really clutch. I mean, it is PS2, so it's a wide stage that can make it really hard to land on, and you'll also die to stuff off the top really early.
Definitely a DJ Khaled moment, you know, another one. So many up airs coming in from Skrill here. Got more or less the whole stock only on up air strings. I think there was like 10 up airs or so connecting. It's actually insane.
And that's surprising against a character with multiple jumps, but as we mentioned, you know, not great aim ability, so can still get juggled quite easily even if they have those mix-ups. What are we seeing again? PS2. I mean, at least the stage bans are going to be a lot quicker this year. This set.
Seems like since they're going PS2 all the way. Although I'm not quite sure if DSR is in effect for this tournament. I did not look it up, unfortunately, so that is my bad. But as long as they can go to PS2, I feel like both players will. But certainly working out way better for Skrill at the moment, getting some more up air strings. But the very few seconds here, the very few early seconds are certainly even in both regards here. Right, two side Bs into a potential up air, but Spag gets a nice little tank on the platform, escaping that situation.
Again, just getting so much more reward right now. Really smart there to fake out with the can to bait the orbitars and then punish. And again, some really good ledge tracking. That down smash has a lot of option coverage. These are just some beautiful combos.
Alright, yeah, I'm not sure if I've seen that before, but clay pigeon into up tilt up air, nice 35%, very casually taken there from Spag of that one combo, as you said. Very beautifully executed by Skrill so far. And I mean, this is kind of the theme, right? The longer Skrill can hold on to this stock here, the worse it gets for Spag, because every single connected grab, normal or even some of those projectiles.
By the way, did you see what Skrill attempted? Skrill tried to bounce can off orbitars and then run up back throw Spag into can.
That
off of like after the back. That's ridiculous. That's genius. I love that.
I love the idea. I certainly do, but actually it is Spag getting the kill with the reflected can instead there to take the first stock of Skrill, but still just keeps it going. Look at this, 115% on Spag.
Yeah,
a lot
Spag's
of that.
Got to get something going now.
Yeah, a lot of that courtesy of that first stock from Skrill just holding on for so long. But you're completely right, of course. And waits for the explosion of the clay pigeon as well. Getting that through the orbiters, basically. And covering himself with the can there off stage as well. Super smart by Skrill, just playing very safe, very controlled here. Keeping the lead. And there's the confirm.
Yeah. And the ledge to blast zone on PS2 is quite small as well, which makes those back air confirms work quite well. And, you've seen a lot of success there that Skrill's had with it.
Nice protection from the can there as well. Coming back for Skrill, going to get blocked by the gunman. Skrill once again has the can. Look at those mix up of the ledge as well with that can. Just gonna call that right back with the shot on it.
Yeah, definitely. Just keeping track of what direction it's in so that you can bait covering options and then just mix it up and cover completely different ones. Using the side B to Wait. Am I crazy? Did he just back throw after the side B into the reflected clay pigeon?
I think so, because he certainly bounced off something.
Well, I mean, the clay pigeon bounced off the side B. That's genius. And like you have the multiplier as well. That's so smart. That's actually insane. But and we saw Skrill going for that as well. That's the kind of thing that you get from playing really long sets. You just start to come up with ideas. How do I use this character's tools to my benefit? and it worked quite well.
Yeah, that is like the next step, right? First you think, how do I play around it? And then you're like, alright, I'm just gonna accept that and play with it, you know? Use it to my advantage potentially even. Not only do I know what's happening, but I can also use that. And in Duck Hunt's case, that opens even more ways to just mix up the projectile play for Squirrel. One more hit with the can potentially take it here, bringing us to a 2-0 scoreline. Squirrel looking poised to take it, but let's not quite gets back the L right here, because there is that side B cheese that we saw earlier. So this is not yet over.
Yeah, this is it's never really over until it's over in a game like Ultimate, or really any platform fire, just because of the nature of it. But the timer's running low now. It's going to be really difficult for Spike to get anything in.
Yep,
not yet. Not yet. Good DI. Right in the top right-hand corner.
And there's another
Nice
can
mix up,
connecting.
yeah.
Yeah, that's it this time around. You're not going to live that one. And Squirrel takes the second game as well, moving up 2-0 in our reset. One more game potentially here for Squirrel if he keeps this up. And so far, it's since the first game, it's really been the Squirrel show so far.
Definitely, and what you saw there was Squirrel realizing, oh, the can's in the other direction. I have to hit it just to the right of Spag. Spag is gonna probably, I think Spag had already had Orbitals held out, and then I can do a neutral B and hit it back in. And keeping track of those directions and allowing, or Squirrel's very good at keeping track of that direction and allowing themselves to like threaten certain options and then go for shots and immediately cover something else. And that can be really difficult to deal with because it's very ambiguous. You have to effectively, in order to deal with that, you have to keep you have to keep track of as much stuff as Duck Hunt is, and that's really, really hard. It's not easy to be a Duck Hunt player, so that's a really good way of forcing your opponent to have to think about as much stuff as you do, especially if you're already used to thinking about that and your opponent isn't necessarily used to juggling all of these different projectile setups and all that kind of stuff.
Alright, here is another PS2 game, ladies and gentlemen. We're still going on the stage, still going strong.
We have that setup, I think. The can did come out there though. But that classic 0 to 40 down throw setup from Pets coming out again.
That's well still very strong at juggling the pit, which usually is a very difficult task. Gets the backer there, but it's not gonna quite do it. Can now stuck on the ledge right there in the wrong direction, so Skull cannot shoot off. Spag finds his way back, but the Orbiter is gonna reflect the can, but Skull coming in with that neutral air as well, just sending Spag out once again. Side B, gonna be safe.
Another use of the can to just make sure that that side B doesn't work. Pretty smart. Obviously the can is gonna be reflected, but it does damage to both people, and it doesn't have any momentum, so the reflect doesn't really do anything.
Going super low right there. Skull just barely making it back with that air dodge. If Spag were a little higher, could have potentially caught that, but as it is, Skull finds his way back to stage and just keeps the pressure up. Already 40% on Spag's second stock here. Skull still very... Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay. That was Squirrel. If you look at Sable Detect. I don't know if yeah, it's happened again. Yeah. I don't know if Spag is willing to play.
Two spikes there, but I think we're right. The both players signaling to go with those taunts right there, and the pinks look stable once again. So let's see if this keeps happening. I hope not, because we want to see a clean grand finals reset, of course. It's been good so far, so let's cross our fingers and see if Skull can continue those aggressive plays. And so far, seems like they're able to. Look at this 92% on Spag here. Skull still not yet losing the first stock. That is actually insane.
Yeah, it's just really good play from Skull so far. Kind of dominant. We thought this might be a bit closer after the reset, but Squirrel has been doing the same thing throughout this entire bracket, which is just adapting as sets go on, and really finishing them strong.
And once again, this is looking like a 2-stock game for Skrill here. Look at that. Might actually be able to get the 3-stock. Oh, falls out of the down there, just barely Spag surviving.
Oh.
That could have been the tournament.
Almost.
Alright, there's the
stock gone. I mean, the comeback could be on for Spag. Still at about mid% or mid-high, but not anymore.
Well, now it's officially high.
Now it's officially high. Now it's arguably kill percent. You know, your side B up air, or just side B back air, that kind of thing. Definitely work around about now. Got to start being worried. It's going to be really difficult to make a comeback. 142.
Alright, Skull being a little bit ambitious with that setup there, maybe just getting into Spag's threat bubble, trying to read the recovery with that down air, but it's not going to happen, and there it is, the can connects, and that is going to be Scroll after the reset with a 3-0, is going to close it out and win European Bootcamp Midweek Drills number 136. Well played to Scroll, and congratulations.
36. We've done that many Wi-Fi tournaments. Oh god. It's been that long since anybody's allowed to go outside. To be fair, I think this has been going on for pre-quarantine, if I remember.
Yeah.
They've been going on since like 2019.
Yeah, I think so as well.
But there are some locals that have hit 100 times that have been going on only during lockdowns, so it really has been a very long time. But Squirrel making it a lot more entertaining. Some really fun sets, some really interesting sets to watch. And thanks to everyone for watching. Thanks to everyone for playing. This has been a great night, and we will see you next week.